Hello and welcome back to Xpwaste, where I haven't had a Guthix rest in a long time. I'm Michael.
And I'm Oxie. When is the last time I had a Guthix rest? Probably also a long time, coincidentally
Several
enough.
months ago.
Clearly, yeah, it's been a bit of a minute. But yeah, we are Xpwaste. We're a podcast that talks a lot about old school RuneScape. I promise I'm not frazzled. I'm just trying to find a new Slayer task in Melvor Idol. If you play Melvor Idol, I'm currently getting gear to do Impending Darkness on my Ancient Relics account, and it sucks. If you don't play Melvor Idol, it's RuneScape, but weirder, and it's fantastic. Absolutely 10 out of 10 recommend playing it. But you're probably here for RuneScape, so that's why you're here. You're new. You probably Googled old school RuneScape podcast, and hopefully we're the first and only option that came up. I know that's not true because there are a lot of other great RuneScape podcasts out there, but I'm also a little bit biased. You found the right place. Welcome to the party. If you're not new around here, I don't know how people train rune crafting. Full stop. End of sentence. How are you doing, Michael?
Michael's good. Yeah, Michael's good. How is Oxie doing?
God damn, apparently Michael's cooked. Oxie's good. I spent 6 hours promoting my fencing club today at a kids event, which was fun. You know, I got to because I was at the station because we had 3 tents set up, and we had a place where you could draw on shields because we have like a crest for our club because, you know, we're sword fighters and theatrical and shit. So we have a little like crest logo, and we got shields for all the kids to draw little markers on. And then we got these really cool like boxing things that we put a shield and then like a needle on for a sword. And we had the kids like fence each other with balloons, and they were popping the little balloons on top of the other one's heads. But we also had a target demonstration, so the kids could actually hold the foils and stab at tennis balls or through holes. So it was a lot of fun for me to be like, yeah, feel free to, you can either draw on a shield, or you could come like balloon fence each other, or you can use a real sword. And the amount of little kids who would go, a real sword? Yeah, right down there. Go talk to that guy in the curly hair. They like drop what they're doing and like leave. I'm like, hell yeah. So we ended up with a little too many extra swords or too many extra shields because I convinced kids for hours that like you should go use the real swords. And then their parents would be like, are you sure? I'm like, mom and dad can do it too. And the amount of dads who are like, hell yeah. They're getting
that would have been me.
Their kids. A lot of the moms were doing it too, which was fun. But a couple grandparents as well. But no, it was a really good day today. What have I been doing this week? D&D and rune crafting and training range on my group Iron Man and kind of neglecting my hardcore. I don't know. I know it's not, but I think because I'm focusing on it, it feels slower than mining. I don't think it is. Because like I can see the XP gain. It feels slower than mining, even though I know it's not, and it's only slightly annoying me because I'm very used to not paying attention because I am a spoiled bitch with the best skilling method in the game, which is redwoods. So take a shot every time I say that on this show. But I literally the only thing I think I've done, I got 92 rune crafting. I'm 380k from 93, and I've logged in every single fucking day and done rune crafting on my main account. So yeah, that feels great. How quickly do you go through bolts? Because I bought like 2,000 bone bolts, and I'm down to like 288. Is that a thing? How quick? I don't know. I've gone through a lot of bolts. I feel like I've gone through 2,500 in this last couple of days.
It goes
with
quick.
My device. Yeah, it's whatever. But that's kind of where I'm at on like all my accounts on all of my RuneScape adjacent games. It's like it's just the bad grinds, you know? It's rune crafting straight to 99. It is fighting through to get my master upgrades on Melvor Idol for Impending Darkness. It's training range at sand crabs in Varlamore, which for like as much shit as I gave you for the 4 crab spot in Varlamore is pretty fucking cracked. I'm not gonna lie, and there's never anybody here. I stand
Yeah,
corrected.
it's dead.
It's fantastic, and by
It's
4 crab
always
spot
dead.
in Varlamore, I mean the 3 spot ammonite crab on Fossil Island because there are no sand crabs on Varlamore. Yeah.
Yeah, don't even look.
No, don't even bother looking because they're not on Varlamore. If they are, we'll let you know. Preferably when my iron gets
It's probably
99
part 2.
range. It's probably coming in part 2, maybe part 3.
Yeah,
maybe part 4.
could be part 3 or 4. Yeah.
Point is, they're not there right now, so don't even bother looking for sand crabs in Varlamore. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just in one of those slumps of like, oh, I wish I was doing something more fun in these games, but I know maxing will be fun, and I know not having to feel like I have to skill will be fun. I don't feel it in like a super negative way. Like, having the AFK skill is going to be nice, but the summer is coming to a close, and I figure it's kind of time to like quote unquote put the pedal to the metal. Though I feel like I'm not putting much of a pedal to much of a metal. I'm just sort of like cruise controlling with soul runes, but we're making progress, I guess. We're getting somehow 35k an hour, which again, objectively faster than shooting stars. Just doesn't feel that way.
Did you ever get the outfit?
No, I've literally not been to Guardians of the Rift since level 90.
Oh,
I've not been.
I mean, I guess you're not doing it for money, so
I mean, I want to go to
the money
Guardians
would be
of the Rift.
nice.
Like,
yeah.
The thing is, I want a green log Guardians of the Rift. But here's my problem with Guardians of the Rift is that every single time I think, oh yeah, I'll go play Guardians of the Rift, I think, dog, it's at least a 10-minute commitment.
Oh yeah.
It's a bare minimum, like 10-minute commitment. But then I have to like wait a couple minutes to get in, and then I can't like get out. Like I have to just like sit and do it constantly, which really bothers my brain. And like I have to I want to be able to leave. And I can't leave because if I leave, I lose my spot on the Mass Worlds. And before anybody asks me and says, why don't you do small teams? I don't know how. And I don't know if that's better for XP. I also don't care. Like, I just want to get this done. So eventually I will have a day where I'm like actively playing on my main and I'll go do Guardians of the Rift. Because I've done it before. I just haven't, Bright side.
Yeah.
Almost 70 prayer on the GIM because I got some hard diaries done. And by some, I mean one singular hard diary done. But that's it. I could keep yapping about things that don't matter. But I gotta level with you. I think that's the summation of what's happened to me this week. Again, not bad, just slow. How are you, Michael?
My week has been about the same, but a little bit different in the sense that I've been doing a lot of AFK stuff as well. I've been also at the sand crabs that are not on Varlamore. The ones, sand crabs.
You mean the swamp crabs in Mauritania?
Yeah, I've been at the swamp crabs.
There are no sand crabs in
in
Varlamore.
We should be at the swamp crabs because we're training range, but there's like I've been able to like jump back and forth between 2-3 spot crabs instead of running away to reset. I just run from 1-3 spot to the other, back and forth every 10 minutes, and I found that to be pretty enjoyable. And like my range level can keep up with the 3 spot. I'm not killing them fast enough to where I'm just like needing a 4th crab right now. So I haven't really needed to seek out that 4 crab spot. But I've got
doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
At least not on Varlamore.
I'm almost 87 range.
Soggy Waffles posted a picture of an earthbender and said there are no sand crabs in Varlamore. There is no war in Boston. Say, you guys,
that's great.
We're fine.
That's good.
That should be the thumbnail of this week's episode. That's great.
There are no sand crabs in Varlamore. That's good. Did you make that? I'm sure he made that. That's funny. No, I've I was inspired by Oxie because he said he's trying to, AFK his range. I'm like, range is one of my weakest combat skills. I'm 94 magic, 96 strength, and only 80. I was only 85 range when I started doing the AFK training. And I'm getting like 50, maybe 45k an hour doing it at the crab spot, which I'm not mad at. Like, I'm shooting bone bolts. So it's not like I'm wasting valuable arrows to do this. I hit surprisingly well with bone bolts. I was like, wait, is that an 18 with bone bolts?
Bro, I'm only getting 38k an hour. This game sucks.
Well, I am using range potions. I don't know if you ran out.
I mean,
not.
I had like 50 in my bank the other day.
Oh, did you?
Michael like ran up on me unannounced after I said I would go to top with him, and he refused, and then promptly stopped raiding. Michael did the most PVM in the last 6 months the other night. And then when I said, "Hey, let's make it a 3-peat, and you can call like I'll go to top if Michael goes," he said, "Yeah, that's crazy. I gotta go to bed." And sat in VC for another half an hour.
Go to bed. No, I wasn't in VC for
sat in VC for
You're
another half an
spoiling
hour.
my week, bro.
But he ran up and gave me range pots, and I was like, "I'm fine." And he's like, "Take the fucking range pots." I'm like, "Whatever, dude." So
I just don't remember if I gave you, because you tend to do this thing where you just dump all your stuff into shared chests, and I don't know what you have on your account at these days. So I was just trying to be a nice friend.
I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I don't even know how I got those range potions.
Maybe you forgot about them in the purge of all your stuff.
They had to be recent, more recent, anyways.
I mean, you have more than I do, so I don't know. It's weird. So yeah, I've been training range whenever the wife and I are watching Game of Thrones, which we've done like less, just because it's like an addicting show, and we would start an episode at like 7 or 8, and then we wouldn't go to bed until almost 11. We watched like 3 or 4 episodes a night, and then half of my night I'm spent tossing and turning, contemplating the politics of Game of Thrones in my dreams, and I'm like getting a poor quality of sleep because I'm dreaming of like battles and all the politics, like I said. But yeah, we've just cut back a bit and watching it. So only 1 or 2 episodes a week. But anytime I'm not AFKing, I've been doing Guardians of the Rift, because somebody like looked me up while we were in VC, and they're like, "How's that 65 Runecraft treating you?" or something.
Sheesh. And called out.
Kind of set me off. Yeah, I got called out. Kind of set me off. I'm like, oh, I mean, I could be base 70s, but I'm not. So I want to get the full runecrafting outfit, and I've also set like a goal for myself that 99 runecrafting would be my next like skilling 99. But redwoods are so good that I don't think that that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen.
Not. What the hell? What
Listen,
the hell?
if I can get mining, runecrafting, and agility done, then I can just focus all of my energy on trying to figure out how I'm going to get 99 prayer and 99 herb lore as an Iron Man. Everything else, pretty much, I feel like will be a viable skill in some ways. Like fishing and cooking they kind of go hand in hand. Mining and smithing, I've already done mining, but smithing is a Bible at the end of the day. It's just like the ones that I'm worried
y'all ever
about.
seen Puss in Boots: The Last Wish?
No, I have
that
not.
That movie's incredible. I'm just picturing the death whistle with the Slayer skill icon. Because Michael's gonna have to do combat, and it takes 7,000 years. Like, I think a skill I've consistently trained. Seriously, I think a skill I consistently trained from the start of my account up until getting 99. I think like last year, maybe 2 years ago. It was like a 4-year grind to get 99 Slayer. Like, I didn't do it super quickly or super efficiently, but like casual Slayer was like 4 years.
And what are you saying about me? You're saying that Slayer's going to be my last and slowest skill?
You have to do combat to get 99 Slayer.
Yeah, but like at least on an Iron Man, there are incremental upgrades that incentivize you to do Slayer. Like if I want an occult, I have to get 93 Slayer. If I want any sort of like of the Hydra upgrades, I have to get 95 Slayer. And those will like, Slayer's money at the end of the day. If I do a couple Hydra tasks, that could pay for some of the Bibles that I need to do. So I'm incentivized to do Slayer on an Iron Man, whereas you could not do Slayer at all on a main and still have all of the nice upgrades that you get from Slayer. Like if I want Prims, I have to do Slayer. The list goes on. There are so many upgrades that I want from my account that come from Slayer. It's the reason I'm 88 Slayer on a less than 2K total account. Like I pushed 87 so the team could have tridents pretty early on. I want that trifecta, baby.
It was 2 years. It was 2 years of the account. He got the tridents in 2023.
What? No, I got the trident earlier this year.
So it was 3.
Huh? No. Bro, I started playing this account like end of 2021.
Group Iron wasn't 20. Was Group Iron 2020?
Group Iron was 2021, right? Hold on.
I think
We're Googling it.
May have been. Yeah, it was. It was fall 21. Yeah, because I was in my internship.
Okay, so then I started playing this in 2023.
Yeah, it was early 23.
I started really playing in 2023. So I've only look back in when I started playing this account. I don't even think I had the Slayer requirements for any of the quests.
Michael,
so I didn't have 69
I'm just
Slayer.
teasing you because you said you wanted to
You're
get
not
trident.
Teasing
you
me.
wanted to get me tridents early on, and it's been 3 years since we made the account.
You're not teasing me. I'm taking it literally. Anyway, speeding through the rest of my week, done a bit of GOTR. I've done a bit of raiding. That's been fun. Because I was complaining about herb lore and the fact that I need to get 82 herb lore to then boost to make an anti-venom plus so that I can have a restoration or rejuvenation pull in my house. And I think it was Elvin Reaver was saying that he got like 4 million herb lore XP from just doing raids for the gear that he wanted on his account. So I was like, I mean, that's pretty free. And the fact that like you have the chance at so many good upgrades while just getting passive herb lore XP through all of the normal rewards. So I've committed to, if I have time and there are people online, I'm going to do raids. And I did like three chambers last night, and then I did 2 chambers today, and then I did like a couple of TOAs throughout the week. I did my first expert mode, which was fun. Like literally when you have people to carry you, TOA is a joke. Like the fact that you can just butterfly Akka the entire time until you get to the orbs phase and then everybody is in like actually engaging in the mechanics, it's kind of cracked. We didn't see one light puzzle the entire time. And there are situations where you could red X Baba, I'm pretty sure, the entire time, unless you're doing the boulders, like when you phase it with the boulders. So it's like that raid, when you get to the advanced mechanics, the only 2 rooms that you have to really deal with being Kefri and Zebek, it's kind of cracked. So a Fang would be really nice. So I'm going to continue to do TOA, and then I would literally take anything besides a Kodai from Chambers. So
why would you not want a Kodai?
Because that means I have to do Mage Training Arena, and I don't want to do that. I can't see. Like, what were you? I can't see what you're doing with your hands.
He doesn't
literally,
have
dude. I have just the slits of your eyes like this.
Oh,
showing on my
I was
screen.
doing the world's smallest violin for you.
Oh no, I don't really need a Kodai. And if I'm gonna hit the rare drop table like that, like with the rares, I would rather have an Elder Maul or a Twisted Bellington. But
I feel like given the choice, everyone would choose a T-bow. But remember what I said earlier about the death whistle with Slayer? I take that back. It's the death whistle with the chambers of Zarek. I would do it, but I don't think my microphone will pick it up over Discord, and I don't think it will pick it up on the recording track. But just look up Puss in Boots death whistle, and you'll know what sound effect I'm thinking of. And when you hear it with the context of the film, you're going to be like, oh, yeah, no, that makes sense. The chambers are coming for you, Michael. The man said, and I quote, I've committed to doing raids if people are online to do them with me.
I have. Like, I did 2
my soldiers,
today.
you know what to do.
Goose got an omelet. He got dragon claws and an omelet. It was pretty hype. I got 21 mil split. So whenever you do raids with me, I can split everything but a T-bow. So I'm free for all just on the T-bow. So I got a split today and it was pretty hype. Bro, I'm so good at running head. I think that you wouldn't even be able to recognize me. Running back and forth, taking no damage.
6 months ago, he refused to learn it. I'm so proud of you, Michael.
I don't know. Like, sometimes you just have to go and experience life with other people to realize how good you had it at home, you know? Like, you were right, okay? You're right.
It's been years.
You stop being such an asshole about it, and maybe I would listen to you.
We're in chambers. Me, Michael, and TMD. And he says, I'm going to sit melee hand. I'm on my main. TMD's maybe was on his main. And Michael's in his GIM. I said, you're going to sit melee hand with what? He's like, my whip. I'm like, run head. He's like, no, I can just tank the damage. I said, trust me, the two of us doing it together, you're not going to be able to outlive me. And he's like, I don't want to learn how to run head. And TMD and I basically had to force him like an angry kid in a mall to run head. He's like, this is stupid. I don't want to do chambers anymore. This is dumb. I don't want to do this.
I've seen the light. I think trios are probably my favorite. Because like when you're running head and it's a mass and there's like 15 people all running head, it's just so chaotic. And they're like, go left. No, go left. Go right. Go left. Right. It's annoying. I think that was what my experience was. It's annoying when nobody is listening and like the head is not setting and you're not getting a consistent run back and forth and like you're getting specials and you're dying and you're having to click bruise. It's just annoying. But the less people that are there and the more experienced they are, and the fact that you can just run left, run right, run left, run right, you're not taking any damage, makes a big difference. And I think another thing that has
cry listening to this speech. This is wonderful.
You probably could. You should. I'll send you some tissues. The other thing that has made my chambers experience much better is the fact that I have 70, like I'm able to boost for 78 herb lore to make the Xerix Plus, like the strong Buchu
the
potions.
Real brews, yeah.
And it makes a huge difference. Like I forgot my pie in one of the raids that we did, and I noticed a huge difference. Like the not strong ones were healing me for like 8 per sip, and it was dismal. And so you notice it. At least I did. Like having the stronger ones, it's just a lot more comfortable. So I'm committing to it, and if I get a T-bow, I think it's going to be friggin' awesome because then I'll never play my main account again. And this will be my main account, and I'll just continue to call my other one an alt because that's what it'll be.
So if you're doing chambers out there, if you're a learner, when in doubt, set it left. Meaning, if you don't know what's happening and it's just a panic fest, go to the left side of Olm's head. The guy skipping will be able to coordinate you from there. If you're trying to lead a herd of cats to skip Olm, who have never done it before, I recently had to do it myself. It was like, I ran chambers with there were like 4 learners in there. And I was like, please God, let me be able to sit melee hand. And everybody said, yeah, I don't know how to run head. I was like, cool. I don't really know how to set the head that well myself, but I can figure it out. It's one of those like, I'm not great at setting the head, but in a pinch, I can get it done. If you're in that situation where you're trying to herd cats to do something, just take the specials, dog. Like,
Yeah.
like it's one thing to learn, but there does come a very critical mass where unless it's one person like maliciously ragging it the entire time, if you've got like more than two people who don't know what's going on, just take the specials, dog. Just take the specials because they're gonna die anyway. And if you're a learner, it's Ulm. If you do your first Ulm deathless, Yahtzee. Ulm is a
Woo.
mess your first time. Um, if you're in a big team of folks, just let it be. Both groups of folks running head, just let it be. Just be happy. Do the raid. You don't have
Get
to
her
be.
done.
Get her done. Exactly. If it's not perfect, it's fine. You'll still get the KC. There's no wipe mechanic. It's fine. Michael, what are we talking about today?
Well, today you've likely seen the thumbnail, which I don't know. I was very excited with last week's thumbnail. The vision came through, and I don't know what today is going to look like, but you've seen it. You've read the title. Today is part 2 of the OSRS food and potions tier list. And last week, if you haven't seen last week's episode, now would be a good time to pause and go watch the other one because transition. This is where we left off. We've done almost all of the potions, and today we're going to finish out the potions and we're going to try and knock out the food. I think we're going to get it done. There's no reason why we shouldn't. Somebody commented on last week's episode on YouTube and was like, "This is the most bicker-free tier list y'all have had." And I think I'm going to take that as a challenge today. I've geared up for some pedanticity, and we'll see how it goes.
No. I would like
I'm
to
joking.
apologize in advance to the endgame community.
I'm
yeah, we
totally
can get this
joking. So today we're going to round out the potions. Chaos Cleric said, "Great. Dad and Papa are going to get a divorce. Well, we've been separated for a while, but I just can't leave. I love this man too much." So we're going to finish out the potions, starting with the one that we forgot to add last week, which was the Sandfuse Serum.
S tier.
Arguably, what? You said S tier?
Yes. S for Sandfew.
S for Sandfew. Okay, so the uses here are antidote. Does it cure venom or does it cure just
Cures
poison?
poison and disease.
Okay, so you've got poison, disease, and it acts as a restore. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
So it gives you prayer, restores your stats, cures poison. Fine. It does a lot of cool things. I think some people are like, put in the F tier because it's hard to make. I think you said that last week or something.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it F tier. If anything, that would make it high A tier, and that's only if you're a stinky Iron Man. Because like it's just a stupid amount of ingredients you need for one potion. It's like nail beast nails, snakeweed, rogue's purse. It's a bunch of just like dumb shit for a Sandfuse serum. But you get them as drops from quite a few boss encounters, even like Kraken. So like it's not even like they take a lot of effort.
You do
to
get a lot
from
Kraken.
Yeah,
that's where I got most of the ones I have on my main. The only place I know to use them is at Nightmare, but there are other places I may just be ignorant to where they're useful. I maybe raids like in chambers, because if you have a shamans, it's nice to have that extra dose of prayer potion without wasting an antidote or like an anti-poison slot.
I'll put the gloves on immediately. It's a tax bracket thing. I want to say the Sandfuse serum restores one more prayer point than a super restore. OSRS Sandfuse serum. I want to say the Sandfuse serum restores one more point, but they're also expensive as shit.
Yeah, how much are they right now? Do you know
20K.
off the top of your head?
They usually sit around like 20K, yeah. So that's
a lot
why
of money.
the restore value is 4 plus 30% of the prayer level, versus a super restore which is 8 plus 25% of the prayer level. And I want to say it. So at 99, it's 34 from a restore. Oh, okay. That's with the Ring of the Gods. So yeah, it's 1 point better. You get 32 with a restore, 33 with a Sandfew. I looked on the wrong table with like the Ring of the Gods and prayer cape and shit. And the Sandfew is still better with all of those prayer boosting things. So yeah,
Huh.
I mean, like if you have the money, you just main hand this everywhere. Inferno, Theater of Blood.
Everywhere?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, it gives objectively better prayer than a restore and a prayer potion. So if you have the money to spare, you can just take Sandviews everywhere, and it's not going to be wrong. There is a pretty like well developed thing if you have to take a lot of restores somewhere, particularly like hard mode top, for example. If you're a shitter like me and walk into the poison splats, you know, I can't count to 4. That little shout out. A Sandview is nice because it just using it as a restore also has that anti-poison effect. So bringing like one Sandview in place of one restore places where there is a poison threat, such as Tombs of a Masket or Theater of Blood hard mode. That's fine. You don't usually see these in regular Tob because the only thing that poisons you, I think, is Zarpus, and it's like it ticks a 2. So it's not like, at least I think it ticks a 2. It's like not super dangerous. Michael just got 78 Herblore on the GIM. Huge for the account. Now he doesn't have to boost for shit anymore. But yeah,
leave that pie at home.
Were it not for the arduous training method, this would be undisputably an S tier potion. But even with the shitty training method, I think it's still an S tier potion.
All right. What is next? We have probably the little brother, I would say, to the Sandview, the Super Restore. I mean, if the Sandview is in the S tier, the Superstore should probably also be in the S tier.
I was gonna say, boy, so help me God. If you say should probably be in the A tier, I was gonna give you the
throw me off a cliff.
Yeah, I feel like the Super Restore needs it's in tandem with the Sarah Brew, which we kind of. I don't know why we did the Sarah Brew last week and we didn't do the Sarah Brew and the Restore together. Because, like, yeah, the Sarah Brew might be the younger brother to the Sandfew serum as far as like prayer effectiveness, but like it's the Brad to the Angelina. It's the peanut butter to the jelly of the.
They just go together. Like you literally can't have one without the other.
In most cases, no.
Yeah, I think brews would arguably be dead content without restores, super restores in the game, because no one would take them
without any way to restore your stats. The brew is just it's a nerf, right?
Yeah.
So like the idea of restores not existing makes the whole idea of brews like I don't know, just like bad. Like there's nothing that benefits with low stats. I don't know.
Unless you want to burn an Umali wrap. But that training method
it's been
got
done
exposed.
Once. We don't need to do it
exposed. Again. Actually, I'm going to be quite honest with you. I don't think any of the potions that we have left are less than the S tier. Maybe the A tier, but quite literally all of them I could put in the S tier and be happy. So unless you have any ones that you think we should argue about.
Are you viewing the Guthix Rest as a potion?
Maybe, no. It's a tea. Is it food though?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll leave it for the food tier, I guess. It's the in between. It's the bridge in a song to the chorus. Stamina is S tier. S for stamina. S for Super Restore. S for stamina. I said 2 weeks ago, a stamina is just an espresso shot, and I stand by that. Today, my opener was going to be something like a super energy is like pink lemonade, because it reminds me a lot of pink lemonade. But if you had to see any of the ones, we have Antidote Plus Plus, Super Extended Anti-Fire, Extended Super Anti-Fire, Super Anti-Fire, Anti-Venom Plus, and Prayer Potion. Any of those less than the S tier for you?
Ooh, I think there's a couple of them. Let me see. I think if I'm correct, there's a couple of them. Yep. Okay, cool. Antidote, probably A tier. Only reason
That's true,
is
actually.
Anti-Venom
for
is
Antidote.
just better. Anti-Venom plus is just better. Anti-Venom, the regular Anti-Venom is like an F tier potion. All my homies hate the regular Anti-Venom. Anti-Venom Plus is where it's at. Anti-Venom
A
Plus
for
gives you
Antidote.
like 2.5 minutes of venom resistance, or more. I think it's about 2.5 minutes. And then it also gives you an additional 12-ish minutes of anti-poison. So it's like you get a full, you get like 3 extra minutes of poison resistance with an anti-venom, as opposed to the regular 12 from the antidote. I don't want to disrespect the antidote plus. Like all props to the antidote plus. The ingredients are weird. Who in the world's getting coconut milk as a fucking drop?
True. No, like how do you get coconut milk? You go to a palm tree and a hammer and a vial? Is that?
I don't actually know. I gotta level with you. I don't think I have ever made an antidote plus. Genuinely, I have bought them or gotten them as drops because there are monsters that shit out antidote plus. So like, as far as their accessibility, even on a stinky Iron Man account, they're definitely not the hardest potions in the world to get. Just anti-venom is better. So that's why I put antidote in the A tier, you know? But that said, anti-venom S tier.
My argument for the Antidote Plus going in the S tier is because while I've run out of Guthix Rests and I have a shit ton of Antidote Plus, they have been my replacement for the Guthix Rest potion because the only difference is you get like a tiny bit of HP with a Guthix Rest. They both cure venom and they both, well, I don't know if the Guthix Rest gives you anti-poison resistance, but like they both cure venom. Like one sip cures venom,
They
and
knock
then
it down to
sink
poison.
another sip, knocks it down to poison, and then another sip cures the poison. So I've been using them at Zulrah in replacing the Guthix Rest because you get, like, I'm still in the positive because you get them so frequently from Zulrah. But I could agree, A tier, probably fine.
A for Antidote. This whole thing is like
for Antidote.
It's like the Sesame Street letter game. This is great.
B for Bastion. A for Antidote. S for Super Combat. Now these two, so the next ones are the Super Fires. Super Anti-Fire. Before we had Vorkath, all we had was the Super Anti-Fire.
See, did we?
We did not?
Because I think you put the wrong potion on there, or you may have had a mistake. Because Super Anti-Fire and Extended Super Anti-Fire require the same secondary ingredient, crushed superior dragon bones. For that reason alone, that bitch can go in the C tier. Because where do you use Super Anti-Fires, Michael? Where's the one piece of content you actually need to use Super Anti-Fires?
Probably like Brutal Black Dragons.
No, you can get away with regular anti-fires. Where do you need super anti-fires? Or you will die.
Vorkath.
Ding, 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 ding. Why in the fucking world are we releasing content that is quite literally only necessary at that piece of content? Oxie, you can use super anti-fires against other dragons, and you only have to have one type of dragon fire protection. That's fine. Cool. You can also protect from magic against dragonfire, and it reduces it. It's always been a thing. And you get protect from magic way sooner than you get an excess of superior dragon bones to turn into anti-fire or super anti-fires. Stupid. If we want to talk regular anti-fires, I would put it in the B tier because it's not necessary. It's not, the anti-fire potions are not a necessity.
Which is the purple one?
The purple one that's like a darker purple. That's the regular anti-fire.
Okay.
So I think you truly just grabbed the wrong Sprite, which like it's
Gotcha.
fine.
There's an
but-
anti-fire potion that lasts like 12 minutes
Yep, that's the regular
that you can
anti-fire.
use. Okay. And you can use that at Vorkath, right? If you have another form of Dragon Fire, like an anti-dragon shield or DFS.
Vorkath is weird because you have to. Every time I've gone for years, it's always been extended super anti-fire, and I think extended super anti-fire counts for 2. I'm not entirely sure. Now that
Let's
I
look
say
it up.
it, because I pray magic, and I'm like, I don't pray magic to stop the dragon fire, though. I pray magic because I kill it with melee. But I feel like I prayed magic when I did it with range too.
So
I would have
Vorkath
to. Yeah.
is, what is this? This is the super anti-fire and the anti. Yeah, you're right. You're right. The extended one is the one you don't need.
Well, extended is goated at Vorkath because it lasts the entire trip, or it lasts. You'll get much more time out of it.
So the regular anti-fire with an anti-dragon shield and protect from magic, it's reduced to 10
at Vorkath.
Mm-hmm. And so you need anti-dragon shield, protect from magic, and a super anti-fire potion for it to negate Vorkath's fire damage. So if you just take the super anti-fire and protect from magic, it's going to be 10 for this with the super potion.
Yeah, but with a regular anti-fire, an anti-dragon shield or ward or whatever, and protect from magic, you still get hit at 10.
You still get hit at 10. Yeah. So,
and with just the
theory,
okay, yeah.
Yeah, so you could go with a super anti-fire, the super one. So the one we have here on this one right here. You could go with that one and an anti-dragon shield, and it would be 0. So basically, if you don't have an anti-dragon shield and you don't have a super anti-fire, you're going to take damage in some form or fashion. But you can't just take you have to have a combination of the super and the shield, or a regular, the shield and pre-mage. There's a lot of things that could negate the damage.
The thing about it, at Vorkath, you're going to take damage no matter what. Because if you're meleeing Vorkath, you're way better off using an Avernic as opposed to an anti-dragon shield. I suppose if you don't have an Avernic, but for some reason you have a DFS, sure. Because it's a +7 versus a +8 strength bonus. But as you're meleeing, you want to use your Avernic Defender at Vorkath. And if you're meleeing, you're also getting the dog shit beat out of you, so you have to pray mage. If you're ranging, you can use an anti-dragon shield or a Dragonfire ward, but usually if you're ranging, you're wearing Elite Void. And Elite Void will get shit all over by the range attack. So you usually pray range if you're using a range at Vorkath. So it's possible to negate it entirely, which I did not know. I thought Vorkath always hits you, but turns out that's only KBD that always hits you. Either way, a regular anti-fire, that's a good B tier potion. You don't technically need it anywhere besides Vorkath. And it's a pretty decent training method. It's fairly cheap to train with anti-fires. Super anti-fires, C tier. I could give the extended super anti-fire a nod for being useful at Vorkath, but for a 98 Herblore requirement, dog. Dog.
It's pretty up there. Why are they so it's like the difference between anti-fire, super anti-fire, and extended super anti-fire. They are all different. It's not just one is longer, this is shorter. I'm trying to find how many minutes an extended super anti-fire lasts.
6 minutes.
So an anti-fire is 6.
Super anti-fire is 6. Extended super anti-fire is 6. Regular anti-fire is 12. I want to say a regular super anti-fire is 2 or 3. I don't know. I've never used one.
A regular anti-fire? So that's that's what's confusing.
Anti-fire.
That's what's confusing. The word extended makes me think that it's supposed to last longer. But a regular anti-fire is 12. and then an extended super anti-fire is 6. That's where the confusion comes in my mind.
Longer than a super anti-fire because anti and super anti are different entities. So it lasts longer than a super anti-fire. But because super anti-fire technically acts as 2 forms of dragon fire protection, I think it's less time to balance it out.
I'm so confused. We could just put both in the F tier, and I'm fine with that because I'm mad at these potions for being so confusing.
No, I wouldn't put them in the F tier. I would say C tier because of their stupid ass ingredient use case.
All right, get them in there.
If you wanted to put extended super anti-fire in the B to represent their regular anti-fire potion, that's fine too.
Okay, get them out of here. I'm done talking about them. Anti-venom plus, that's S tier, surely. Like, being able to kill Zulrah with no worries of venom. You just relax, sit back. You don't have a SERP. Sit back and relax, bro. Because, like, if you're killing Zulrah, hopefully you can kill it in less than 2 minutes and 30 seconds. But if you can't, you've got another sip. Let's just hope you can kill it in 2.5 minutes. And if you can't, you'll get there. I'm averaging probably close to 2.5. So once I can get to Anti-Venom Plus, baby, it's over. But hopefully by then, Papa's got a SERP and we're not having to worry about it. Prayer potions, also in the S tier. If there was a tier above S, like S plus, I think prayer potions for me would be the sole inhabitant of that tier because this game is literally unplayable without prayer potions. Yes, you have restores and sand fuse and blah, 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 blah. But like at its base mechanic, being able to restore your prayer on the fly is a core, it's a core gameplay loop. And you need that. S plus for me, prayer potion. What about you? You disagree, I'm going to slap you. But I don't think you're going to disagree. Sorry.
You know what? All right, let's be a bitch about it. Why is a level 30 herb as expensive as it is with this when there are better options?
You need it early game. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
well, you can buy better potions early game. Why would you waste your money on prayer? Why would you waste your money on the bronze medal when you could get the silver or the gold? What?
And
the secondary is easy, but like you can't even like realistically buy the seeds because the seeds are stupid expensive. So why are we putting all this money into something that's not even best in slot? Why is that a conversation that we're even being forced to have in this situation right now?
Oh, are you saying that we should focus all of our energy in super restores and sand views, and then prayer potions, nobody should use them because they're such a low tier herb?
I mean, listen, what is it? Snapdragons and then a bunch of other random shit for sand fuse? That's higher up there. That's fine. That's respectable. Raynars, you can clean them bitches at like 25 herb lore. Why in the world are they up there? At least the Saradomin Brew heals you. You can do content in this game without losing prayer points.
Yeah, if you're... I mean, what?
Yeah, you can do content in this game. Yeah, you absolutely can.
I think it's just the access to an altar and...
Called prayer flicking, baby.
Do you prayer flick like AFK Slayer? When you have 7 or 8 minutes of protect from range or protect
That's
from
crazy
melee?
Because 7 or 8 minutes becomes unlimited time.
What about like a bursting task? Are you going to be flicking when there's literally hit splats every single tick?
The crazy part is if you prayer flick correctly, it won't matter because you're protected every tick. There's a hit splat.
You can prayer flick every tick and not lose. How is that possible?
Okay. So you're thinking of lazy flicking, where you only turn your prayer on the moment a monster attacks.
Yeah,
that's just turning it on and off. Flicking is when go to your prayer menu for me. Everybody at home, go to your prayer menu, turn on an overhead prayer, and then at a 100 beat per minute pace, double click, bop, 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 bop. So it's da 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 da. What you're doing is every tick you are turning off and then turning on your prayer again. If you double click with no overhead on, you're just going to turn your prayer off. So that's where it gets tricky if you fall out of rhythm, right? It's very easy to do, like, if you set up your quick prayers to melee and piety, for example, you can activate your quick prayers and then double click the orb. Dun-dun, 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 dun-dun. That's prayer flicking. So when people talk about like, oh, I need to prayer flick right now, it's because they need to have prayer up, but they need to save it. So, and there's combat achievements based around it. So it's not even like there's this weird like game breaking meta. There are whole combat achievements dedicated, like the fight caves without losing a prayer point. Seriously, that's ridiculous. So yeah, it's stuff like that where you don't need prayer potions. Am I arguing this just to be a pedantic bitch because you made a suggestion that I, for some reason, would put the most accessible necessity in PVM anywhere below the S tier, trying to steal my lines? Maybe, but I don't know. Maybe this isn't an S tier potion after all. I don't know. I don't know how I'm feeling about it.
So A tier compromise, I guess. Technically, it would be an S tier compromise because we have an invisible S plus tier.
Jesus
Christ. You want to put it below the S tier? All right, we have finished potions. We probably could have did that last episode, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, we absolutely could have.
Didn't even think about the fact that the ones that we had left
were all the good ones
needed. Yeah, it's all the good ones. Just put them at the top. Leave it. Now it's on to the food. I don't know where to start with the food because for some reason now it's been reorganized.
Then brother, reorganize it while we're talking about the Guthix Rest.
It is the transitionary point between liquid and solid because that's how we want it to be.
Yes, and the fourth state of matter, Guthix Rest.
Talk about tick eating because that's the primary use for this here potion. Yes, it cures venom, so it's used to add Solra if you don't have anti-venom plus.
It doesn't cure venom. It reduces venom to poison. There's a big difference. You're still taking damage when it's reduced to poison. And you can be re-venomed with Guthix Rest. Why this is utilized at Zulrah.
My statement still stands. You are being cured of your venom state. Whether or not you are going into another state is not important for my statement. Correct?
No, I still don't think it's... okay, whatever. Let's just say... Flip that shark in that Kim Bam Bam. What are you doing?
I think that's right. Maybe?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, okay. Talk about tick eating, because this is probably what's going to determine the tier. Because the fact that it can reduce venom to poison is not the strongest use for a Guthix Rest. Why I felt the need to put the words Guthix Rest underneath the very recognizable teacup.
Stole the logo from the other show. Just ripped it right out.
I wore
is this the second week in a row you're wearing that shirt, or did you wear that?
No. This has been a while since I've worn this shirt, but I felt it was appropriate.
I mean, who are you asking?
The resident tick eater of the two of us, the person who has more experience eating ticks than me.
So you can tick eat with more than just a Guthix Rest.
Okay. Somebody mentioned purple sweets. The fact that you can tick eat with more than just a Guthix Rest doesn't deter me from wanting you to talk about it.
Okay, so in general, right, if you don't know, tick eating is you eat food, any amount of food, as a damage orb, right, is about to hit you, right? I say damage orb because specifically we'll use Soda Seg as an example, right? Soda Seg shoots out a very large red ball as like a special attack, and if it's not split, it'll do something ridiculous, like 95 damage. That's not strictly accurate. Usually, it'll chunk you pretty hard. And a lot of times, when you get later in a raid, you don't want to use supplies because you kind of need them. Right? You don't want to have to recombat and restore and all this other stuff because usually you don't take a ton of hard food, at least a Tob. And you use a ticky to barely get yourself enough HP. So how damage in general works, right, is something will have a hit range. If it rolls a hit, it'll roll between 1 and 90, let's say. And the higher the max hit, the higher the hit is likely going to be. For example, Zuck has a max hit of like 256. It's stupid. They calculated Zuck's max hit to be like twice the player max. So that means on average, when Zuck rolls a hit, he's going to kill you because he's going to roll higher than your HP.
Wow.
And all monsters do this. All monsters, when they roll a hit, they're essentially their hit dice, right? If you're a D&D fan, is just whatever it is. And they will roll that usually when an animation begins. In the case of Soda Seg, it's when the red ball is fired towards your character. A tick eat, whether it's a Guthix Rest or a Purple Sweet or a Karambwan or a Cerebrew, can be eaten. On the same tick, the damage registers to your character, and your character will have as much HP as that piece of food heals. So a Guthix Rest heals like 5, right? Something like that, 5 HP, 4 or 5 HP. And if you have a red ball coming at you and you only have 30 hit points, there's a pretty good chance the red ball's gonna kill you if you don't tick eat. So if you get hit by the red ball and you drink your Guthix Rest at the exact same time, you'll have 5 hit points left, right? Because you're essentially doing 2 actions at once and negating the damage. You're not negating it, you're still taking the damage, but you're staying alive with the ticky. I'm sure someone in the endgame community can explain this better than I can, but that's the general gist of it. Most monsters in this game can be tick-eat. The only time you really can't tick-eat is if damage is rolled once it hits you, like at Verzik, for example, or I think does Scurrius do this? I think Scurrius does it too. If the damage isn't rolled before the projectile hits you, then I don't think you can tick eat it. But I'm not sure. You might be able to. So Guthix Rest is utilized for tick eats, usually at just Theater of Blood. Unless I'm blanking on where else to take a Guthix Rest, I could like check my main's bank and see where else I would take one. But I really think it's just Tob.
Interesting.
Because you can tick eat the stomp at Bloat, and you could tick eat the red ball at Soda Seg. But that's it. So yeah, I don't know. That's tick eating, or at least an overview. In addition to restoring a little bit of run energy, like 4 or 5 HP, and then reducing venom to poison or reducing poison by 1. Which does not grant any sort of immunity. So if you get venomed by Zulrah and you drink a Guthix Rest, you can immediately get venomed again when Zulrah attacks.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how that works. Where are you putting this potion, Michael? Or
it's pretty
food
niche
item, whatever
but
it is.
It is strong, but it is niche. They've updated the way that they're made. You used to have to make them in a very specific order. But now you can just throw whatever herb you want in there, or you can have all of the herbs already in your inventory and it'll combine them all at once, which is super nice. Probably B tier. I could put it in the A tier if you wanted it, but
I think
it
B
doesn't have a
good.
lot of B
tier's good. It's a hassle to make. B tier's good.
Sweet. Another liquid to transition us into the solids. I forgot about the wine. Jugs of wine. They're really low tier food. Ironmen use them a lot. Main accounts can use them too. They're cheap and they restore your health. Funny enough, I think there's other alcoholic beverages in this game that do other things, but like I can't think of another alcoholic beverage that restores your health. Beer could be on the list, but beer, just like if you drink enough beer, it takes your attack down, I think. It like reduces stats rather than giving you stats.
Yeah, but so does
that's just wine's superiority.
Yeah, but wine also reduces your stats.
Oh, it does. I didn't know that. Maybe I've just used it on accounts where, like, having a wine in the place that I'm using it, it doesn't matter if my stats are reduced.
Also, a lot of alcohol also heals.
Really?
Yeah. Beer
You're just gonna like
tankard heals
fact
for
check me.
lizard kicker from Shazian. Does this thing heal anything? I don't think okay, lizard kicker doesn't heal anything, but other alcohol, let's see. The Bandit Brew restores 1 hit point. A fifth of vodka restores 5 hit points. Whiskey restores also 5 hit points. Moonlight, which is great. I love that they called it Moonlight. It's in Varlamore. It temporarily increases strength, reduces attack. Yeah, and it restores 5 HP. So a lot of alcohol does that. The jug of wine just restores the most with 11 hit points.
11 hit points. And it does, it does lower your attack by 2. Interesting. This is probably also B tier for me. There is a secondary use with sacrificing bone shards, which that's great. I love sacrificing bone shards. It's great prayer. Jugs of wine are just good. And it was one of our first commercials with the Fortunato.
What's our first commercial?
Fortunato. It was actually our first. Has a sentimental place in my heart. B tier. What do you think? B tier or A tier? Or C tier? It could go in all 3.
Dealer's choice on the wine.
Dealer's choice. So S tier it is. No, it's probably B tier. Pop it in the old B.
We really shouldn't do episodes at night. I had to be gone all day, and I'm also gone all day tomorrow. So it's like 10 o'clock at night right now. It's probably why we're not fighting as much. No, that's probably why we're not fighting as much as we could, you know?
Oh, I'm trying to egg you on, but it's not working. So I'll stop.
In fairness, this wasn't really a fighty topic, you know?
Leave us a comment with what tier list you want us to do that will really get us going. Because that's what the people want. Let's just power through these early game foods. Do any of them stick out to you as like higher than B tier? In like lobster to the left.
The peach is the goat. We do love a good peach around here. All my God Wars enjoyers know about the peach. And frankly, the king, the undisputed king of the pre-pot, put the tuna in the S tier.
The tuna.
I love the tuna. So for those of you who don't know, you pop one of these bitches after you divine, you get up to full HP, then you angler. You say, oh, just take 2 anglers. That's too rich for my blood.
Oh my God. No way.
It won't be soon enough.
No way.
So I fished a shit ton of tuna years ago. Because remember, no friends, no advice. I trained fishing in Catherby like I wanted to. I had thousands of tuna, cooked them all, dropped all the burnt ones. This is how I trained my account back in the day, Michael. And then over the years of opening particularly gourmet implings, because I had a stack of tuna already, that I stopped using it as like real food, and I started using it every time I drank a sip of a divine potion. I would take a sip of a divine, or I'd eat a tuna, and then I would use an angler, right? And I was like, this is a pretty good strategy I've developed. I have gotten flamed once or twice for the pre-pot tuna in my day. But the stack is dwindling. I'm at like 400 tuna now. I used to be at like 4,000. And like I've just used so many tuna over the years. So for me, the tuna is the undisputed king, with the peach coming in at a close second, just because it saves your ass at God Wars. If some Iron Man out there really wants to give credit to Cake for keeping their hardcore alive in the early game, whatever. I don't really care. I'll defer that to you, Greyhound.
Yeah, Cake could go in the A tier just for its accessibility, ease of use, utility. Like no one's taking bread to Winter, Todd. while you still have a lot of bread coming from the cake stall or whatever it is, you still get a lot of bread, but everybody drops it. I think bread, probably C tier. And so the potato here, there are so many different varieties of potato, as well as pizza, that I opted to just have this be like the all-encompassing potato and the all-encompassing pizza. So when we're thinking about pizzas and potatoes, you got to think of like the tuna potato or like the whatever is the highest here, pineapple pizza, I think it is. So have those in the back of your mind. But tunas are good. When you're going back to your statement there, the heal 10, which for me, a lot of the time, I only need like 10 HP. So I just pop a tuna. Trout I have a lot of because I think that's how I trained my early fishing and cooking. And for some reason, Charlie wants trout sometimes too. So I just have a stack in my bank to satiate his desire for a good fish, cooked or uncooked, rather. So trout could probably go in the C tier as well.
You know, I would have agreed because I just caught a bunch of trout on my hardcore just because I wanted to. And I was like, yeah, trout's pretty solid. I like that.
Yeah.
And then you reminded me of that sick in there. Put trout in the F tier.
Just because Charlie asks for it.
Put trout in the F tier. When you associate with the likes of Charlie and the Tramp, you go to the F tier. I don't care what you are. F tier.
Well, on that note,
it's nothing personal. It's nothing personal, trout. It's nothing personal. If herring or pike were on this list, they'd also go in the F tier.
Yeah, there's a lot of fish that just didn't get included because I included the most popular options: trout, tuna, bread.
All of potatoes. Were they the most popular options? Like, really?
It's the most recognizable to me. I don't know. I made this tier list. If you're making a tier list, maybe you think like herrings and sardines are more iconic. But to me, it was the trout and the tuna because I didn't know before, but you lived off of tuna and trout, like that fishing spot where it has like the eternal fire right next to Barbarian Village. Such an iconic spot to get salmon and trout. Like that to me, if I want to feel nostalgic, pop on RuneScape or like whatever the scape rune music and go to Barbarian Village and just fish.
Sure is a shame the nostalgic salmon didn't make it on there.
Well, it's cousins to the trout, but it's now in the F tier. All of potato, every single potato is represented here. And it probably could go in the A tier for me. How many times has a potato saved your life, Oxie? Can you count it on one hand, or is it more than that?
It saves me from banking at court masses.
Exactly. There are so many bosses that just have like unnoted massive stacks of potatoes.
It's been
that you're just
really
like,
good
it's
at
a
God
delight.
Wars. I know at like God Wars, it drops chili potatoes, which is nice as a tank.
Syrachnus.
Yeah.
Sire
chili
drops
potatoes. At Syrachnus. I ain't done Sire in so long, dog.
Sire drops potatoes. So like potatoes, they come in clutch. As like, I don't need to bank now because
I'll give it to the potato for that. I will give it to the potato for that.
Not just the cheesy potato. And if you've unlocked the Warriors Guild, this is the easiest food to come by for an Iron Man. If you have access to the GE, we don't need to talk. But as an Iron Man with the Warriors Guild, easiest food to come by. You hop twice, you got a full inventory, you're set. All of pizza could probably go in the C tier. Probably B tier. Who's taking pizza anywhere? Do you take pizza anywhere? Probably not. Even in the early game. No. It's a bitch to make. You need a lot of ingredients. It was only until recently, I think, that you couldn't like decant pizza. Like take 2 slices of pizza and put them together to make a whole pizza.
Oh, can you finally decant pizza now? Can you decant pies
is that
yet?
Pie? Hold on.
I don't think you can decant pies, and it's the most annoying part of this game. Which pies did not make this list at all.
Let's see. Yeah, pizza halves can be combined to create a full pizza. It was updated April of 2015. I guess it's not recent. Maybe I'm thinking of like people wanting pies to be
you can't decant pies, which is annoying as shit.
Yeah. Justice for pies, Soggy Waffle says. Hashtag justice for pies. Yeah, pizzas, I guess you can put them together. So maybe not C tier. Let's just pop them next to wine. D?
Who the fuck uses pizza? Also, wine's in the B tier. Someone's going to say, well, pineapple pizza actually heals the same as a manta ray. And you can blah, blah, blah. Just buy a manta ray. D tier.
You make good points. This is what you all came here for today. It is the fish that we know and love. We've gotten through the early game. We're exiting the mid game. And we're coming into the end game. And lobsters, they're only here for nostalgia. If you played any amount of RuneScape from the years of 2002 to 2009, you know lobsters were the GOATs. It's because I think nobody knew or had any idea that you could just fish other fish. Everybody's like, lobsters are the GOAT. Why would I ever want a karambwan? Or why would I fish monkfish? They're so slow. We're all just stuck on that pier in Karamja. It's probably bot farms, if I'm being honest. The most accessible and easiest place for a bot to get to, and the fact that you could likely, I think, fish these in free to play, it made for some really accessible fish. And that's why I think lobsters were the king back in the day. But like, it's nothing for a bot farm now to go and fish a couple 100,000 karambwans and dump them into the market, or even sharks. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Rating it on nostalgia alone, I want to put it highly up there, but I don't think it deserves it. I really don't. They've really lost their luster in terms of usefulness, even in the mid game. I don't think that people are taking lobsters like they were before.
That's a different age. That's a different era of this game. Like mid game as adults, and when I was a kid doing stupid shit on RuneScape on my family computer, that's an entirely different video game, more or less.
I would agree. We're going to put this one probably right next to bread, just for the nostalgia factor. It doesn't deserve to be lower because it still heals a decent amount, and I don't think that they're very expensive, but it's really only there because of nostalgia. Probably the same with swordfish, but I think in some regards, swordfish are faster to come by and they heal a bit more.
How in the world are swordfish faster to come by?
When you're harpooning, this may just be my perception, but when you're like dipping that lobster pot, you get like one. What is it? Like every 10 ticks or something stupid?
Every 5 ticks, you have a chance to catch a lobster.
Okay. And then the success rate's not very high at 40 fishing because you need 40 for lobsters, correct? Let's check. Cage.
It's like a 40 or 50% chance. Like it's not low.
It's a 50% chance every 5 ticks. So yeah, you could go for like 5 or 6 seconds without getting one. Whereas if you're harpooning, at least you're probably getting tuna. And then the random swordfish pops in there.
OSRS.
It just feels better.
It doesn't, because you get less swordfish.
It feels better is what I'm saying. Feels better. Because
Michael,
you're getting
at
fish.
level 50, when you unlock swordfish, there's a 10% chance to get a swordfish.
And what, a 90% chance to get tuna?
No, there's a 12% chance to get a tuna. The chance to get a tuna actually decreases at level 50.
Damn. And what's the tick? Every 5 ticks still? Or is it a faster fishing cycle?
No, I think that's just fishing. I think that's how that works on a 5 tick cycle. I think
Well, they
all
never
resource
developed
gathering. I think
a-
all resource gathering skills. I think, at least with mining or fishing and woodcutting, I think it's every 5 ticks you have a chance to complete the action.
Mm.
I think.
Soggy Waffle says it makes me angry because I want swordfish, but I just get tuna. I think I'm the opposite. I think I'm like, hey, I'm fishing. We're getting things in the inventory. It's just not a bunch of like dip and not get what you want. You're dipping, and you're getting. So for that reason,
but you're only chasing one species with lobster.
Correct. But for that reason, I say all that to say I think swordfish would be in the B tier.
That's whack.
How's that whack?
That is absolutely whack. You're saying I have a super low % chance to get it, but because it feels really good, suddenly out of nowhere, that bumps it up. Huh?
Okay, tell me the last time you heard of a 2-tick lobster fishing method. There's 2-tick swordfish because it's superior.
Do you want to know why there's 2-tick swordfish?
S for swordfish. Thank you, Cram.
Do you want to know why
swordfish.
there are 2-tick swordfishing, Michael?
No, I don't want to know why. Because it's in the S tier. S for swordfish.
Because it's possible to do it. Because there are multiple locations with NPCs that will allow you to 2-tick swordfish. You can also do it on a PvP world if you really want to.
PvP with multiple accounts on any location, anywhere. Right?
I've never tried it, but I know you can do it with swordfish at the fishing guild. You might be able to do it with lobsters. Hell, I don't know. You might be able to. I think the logic of you get exponentially less of them that makes it better is stupid. I'm sorry. Over the lobster.
It's not the reason, but it is a factor.
Then what's the other reason?
More. They heal more. They look cooler. I don't know.
And that's whack.
The rule of cool, remember?
I hope the wrath of the nostalgic Xpwaste chat comes for you in full force for disrespecting the lobster. So
would you put the swordfish above the lobster, or would you put them
I would
on the
also
same tier?
I would either put the swordfish also in the C tier, or put it below, put it in the D tier.
It heals more though, right?
It does, yeah. It's 12 versus 14.
Okay, we'll put in the C tier because I think there are other fish that could probably go in the B tier that we have left. Which is, I'm going to say it, monkfish, B tier. They're really good if you're just, tutorial island like me. I had a stack of monkfish for the longest time, and then I didn't. I started buying sharks.
I think I sold my monkfish for my scythe.
Did you really?
So I didn't use them like ever, but I sold my monkfish for my scythe many years ago because Jake, I was in VC with Jake from State Farm. Jake, our good buddy from back in the day. He was like, Oxie, why the fuck do you have a stack of monkfish? I'm like, I don't know. I think I fished all those. He's like, Oxie, get rid of the monkfish, get rid of the tuna. I said, all right, you're taking it a step too far. I'll get rid of the monkfish. I'm not getting rid of these tuna.
That sounds like Jake. Sounds like Jake, for sure. Okay. I don't think any of the fish that we have left are less than the S tier.
Nope. Wrong.
Boom.
Wrong.
Boom. Okay, maybe the manta rays? A tier? Sharks could probably be A tier. What would you put in the A tier then?
I would definitely put the manta not in the S tier. Manta doesn't belong in the S tier for sure. Absolutely not. Manta does not belong in the S tier. Frankly, I don't even know if the shark belongs in the S tier.
I would highly disagree. Sharks are superior to any
what?
food. Any food.
Really? Look at the food just to the right of it. Is it superior to the anglerfish?
It is superior, yes.
How?
Because because anglers are expensive.
Are they? Let's do a little price check.
Shall we?
Anglerfish are about
You
2K,
look up angler and I'll look up. I can't do it on my combat.
Sharks are about 1K. So it's double the price. 1K
It's
versus 2K.
100% more money for how much difference healing. Yes, anglers can overheal. That's why they're sitting pretty in the S tier. But if you're not you who lives above their means and buys the most expensive things for no reason,
I have not lived above my means in this game in years. Don't disrespect the bank value like that. Don't do that.
I'm just saying, sharks is the common man, the everyday player's probably best option for food when you think about doing PVM. If you're not if you don't need brews, you have a couple of anglerfish because they overheal. But if we took a poll and we asked every single person in the game, what is your most commonly eaten food? I would say 85% of them would be sharks and crown.
I don't like getting disrespected in my own podcast chat because I said I have not lived outside my means for a while. And Soggy Waffle says, let's not forget the Dragon Boost G era. And, I didn't expect to get humbled that hard on my own show this late at night. But, you got me there. There was a time where it was Scythe, Infernal Cape, Obsidian Legs. So, sometimes it was stupid. It was Scythe, Infernal Cape, Tebow, Missouri Kit, Obby Legs. It was brutal for a while there.
Rebuilds are hard sometimes.
I really shark in the S tier.
You would put the shark in the A tier. Yeah. For what reason? It's very accessible. It's botted to hell. So
how is it
cheap.
Accessible? It's a 76 fishing requirement.
They're cheap.
And you want to talk about a fish that takes 2,000 years to catch?
They're cheap. This is not Iron Man Michael talking right now. If you go on the GE, you put a buy offer for 1,000 of these, you pay 1 million GP.
That's not that
very
math.
Accessible. 1,000.
1,000 times 1,000,
and they cost 1,000.
Sure is
$1 million. Pay 1 million GP.
You are correct. Yeah, wow. I'm the one who can't
That's
do
very
math.
accessible for any bank. And tell me, in the mid game at least, how long it's going to take to go through 1,000 sharks. That's a long time. So at most, people are probably buying 50 to 100 at a time, and they're reserving them for when they are doing big boy content like Zulrah. And most of the time, you're probably just going to take Karam ones because those are hella cheap, very accessible. They heal slightly less than a shark, and you can get away with just full inventory Karam ones.
And they have a shorter eat delay. They're one of the only hard foods in the game that don't have a 3-tick delay. Only have a 2-tick delay.
Love that.
Potions don't have any delay,
which is great. But we're not talking about potions. We're talking about the shark. Shark. S for ST. Shark is S for shark. Whatever.
I will only concede the battle of the shark. I will only concede the battle of the shark in the S tier because the anglerfish does not heal 22 until anglerfish does not heal 22 healing until 93 HP. Until then, it heals a max of 17 hit points until 92. It can still overheal, but the anglerfish doesn't reach full potential until 93 hit points.
I did not know it scaled.
To which I would say that reason alone is fair enough to put the shark in the S tier. The manta ray, on the other hand, while it does heal more, first of all, pain in the dick to get, because what the fuck drops a manta ray? Whisperer drops 4 of them. Zulrah drops 35 noted. Muspa drops 28 noted. Vorkath can also drop a couple of them noted, right? So, yeah, you can get them from the money bosses. That's fair enough.
That's why they're expensive. I think if you could
they're only 1,500, so they're not.
You could fish these. I think they would probably be superior over the shark in terms of use. But I think fishing trawler is the number one place to get them raw.
It's not the only place. It's not the only place to get them raw. I'm pretty sure.
Really?
You also get them from Temporos and Tombs of
Temporo.
Amasket. Also get
Oh,
them
really?
from Tombs of
Tombs?
Amasket and the Brimstone chest. Yes,
Hmm.
and drift net fishing and the Mimic. Yeah,
You
and
just opened up
Leviathan for some reason. Why does Leviathan drop the?
because it's a sea boss.
But yeah, I don't. The Dark Crab also heals 22, and those get shit out in the wilderness. And the tuna potato that we have said is also in the A tier also heals 22.
Oh,
So
I'm fine with the manta ray being in the A tier. It doesn't have the same allure as the shark does for me. Like the extra 2, because what, a shark is 20? The
yeah,
manta ray is 22. The extra 2 HP, not nearly good enough to spend an extra 500 GP on it. A lot of people will be like, it's only 500 GP, just send it.
don't get me wrong. I use manta rays. I use manta rays lots of places. But at the same time, I have 99 HP. I could just use anglers everywhere I go. I don't care.
That's true. That's true. On my main account, Oxy, on my main, I don't take sharks. I take anglers.
And he said he can split purples. God damn, he's out of here throwing money around.
You know why?
Holy shit.
Because I'm back on the cooking grind, and I have thousands of anglerfish. So it to me it doesn't like it doesn't feel like I bought them. It feels like they're just free, but I know that that's not the case because I probably should sell them to be able to buy more raw anglerfish to cook them. But I have like 9,000 more anglerfish to cook until I hit 50 million cooking XP, I think. Exciting.
Hell yeah, brother.
That's it. That's the tier list. I think we did this one justice. The ones in the F tier deserve to be there. The D tier is like you're teetering on the edge. And everything else, not a lot of controversy. We did miss some before you jump down to the comments and you're on the wiki and you're like, but you missed the dark crab.
The lack of pies, really, I think, is the only thing that could have gone in. But
we could do a whole stat boosting item tier list.
It's all just going to be S tier. It heals you and boosts your stats. It's all S tier, man.
You never know. You could throw a fire making pie up there and actually be like, why the hell? F tier.
No, not F tier. A fire making pie would have been cracked before I had 90 fire making for the fucking master clue step. You know how long it took me to get +5 boosts for Sherlock? That's the worst feeling in this game.
+5 boosted with a
That is the worst feeling in this game, to get a master clue step, to get 7 steps deep and go, all right, masala, anything but the fire making step. You have every skill requirement. You can mine runite. You got full prospector. you can kill a neck reel. You can do everything he wants you to do except burn a redwood log. And he says, that's crazy. You want this fucking casket? Get the burning, bitch. And you spend 2 hours getting a +5 boost for a master clue for like 300k. It's a dog shit feeling in this game. It is truly terrible feeling. So if there was a fire making pie, that would be incredible. It would probably taste like ass because it would either be really spicy or just ashes, which would suck. But no, I think all pies would be S tier.
I think you have a lot of depth to your like who you are, because some would say you hate fire
now
making.
Figuring this out.
So like, there's no. I just wanted to call it out. You just like, I don't know. We make assumptions about Oxy, and then he just proves us wrong in the most eloquent way, and I love it. Because you're absolutely right. A +5 fire making would be nice for you. So it means you don't have to train fire making. But on the flip side of that, you could have just burned a bunch of redwood logs for a couple of hours and then never had to worry about it.
I didn't have the level 4 redwood logs, Michael. I couldn't buy redwood logs because I
Didn't you-
couldn't burn them, and magic logs were too expensive.
Okay, so then it would have been like a few hours at winter, Todd. I thought you were saying that you had 90 and you needed 95 to burn a redwood pyre log.
No,
That's
it's a
the- like
redwood
the-
log for the clue step.
Oh my gosh. I've not done master clues, and you know this, so you can get off my dick.
You also
I
have
don't
an
know
account that
these
doesn't
things.
have a bloodhound, so you could do master clues.
I've never received a master clue to even try.
It's because you ain't done no fucking clues on your GIM.
I have. All right, folks. Papa and Daddy are going to go fight, and we're going to send you to break.
And you have a job to
So-
do on this break, right? During this commercial, get up, go to the bathroom, get some food, and sit somewhere comfortable. We have about 600 community question responses to get through.
Oh my gosh.
So strap in for what could unironically be the longest community question section ever. Maybe it's not as long as when I looked at it on my phone, but wow, a lot of people responded when it's in Discord. And not a single person yapped.
I love it. You guys are amazing. We'll talk about that more after the break. So
Break time,
see you after
folks.
this. We'll see you after this.
Hi, my name's Dominic Onion. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about my newest endeavor, the Nightmare Zone. It's an opportunity for adventurers like yourself to come down and relive some of your favorite bosses, but in an unconventional way. We've got nothing but great reports from our adventurers who have done it. Here comes one right now. Hey, what's your favorite quest boss?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I held the space bar and clicked the boss. I couldn't even tell you. I've done like maybe 10 quests in my entire life.
Mine's Agribanana. He's so funny. He looks like a banana.
Okay.
Hey, you want to come relive some of those quest boss fights?
Not really. I'm just here to buy some blood.
Perfect. I'll give you a tour. Talk to me, and I'll set you up with a rumble. You can fight all the bosses at one time. Kill the bosses, you get points. You can buy things to make your next rumble easier. You can also buy herb boxes and scrolls from my personal collection of paper. Give me enough points, and I'll use some of my onion magic. And I'll imbue some of your items for you.
You'll just like do this for free?
Of course not, adventurer. Man's gotta eat. It'll cost you a couple thousand GP per rumble. I don't think it's much to ask. So what do you think? Should I get you set up with a rumble?
Yeah, no. I think I'm just gonna go buy.
Perfect. Come talk to me and you can choose what bosses you want to fight. See what I mean? Flawless reviews from adventurers. The people you know won't let me inside, so I set up shop right outside the front gate. Come pay me a visit. Hey!
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that commercial break because I know that I sure did. It's part of the show now where we take some time to thank our patrons who support us over on patreon.com/Xpwaste. We take some time each and every week to give a quick shout out to our newest wise old man patrons, and this week is no different. I would like to take some time to thank Walt Kidney and a returning patron, Rune Riot. Thank you guys for joining and rejoining the Wise Old Man tier. Little fun fact for you. Rune Riot was our very first patron ever. So that's kind of cool. Thanks for coming back, supporting the show in the Wise Old Man tier. On the screen now is all of our current Wise Old Man patrons. You guys are amazing. We love you very much. So thank you to each and every one of you for joining at the Wise Old Man tier. If you join at the Wise Old Man tier, you're going to have access to the recording booth. If you've not listened to the show very much, or this is your first time listening, you may have heard us reference the recording booth and people making comments. It's a special channel in our Discord where we record the show and we allow, patrons in the Wise Old Man tier and the KBD tier to sit in and listen while we're recording live. So you guys can interact with the show, get some behind the scenes stuff. And maybe we'll read what you say from the recording booth chat out in the actual episode. Cram said Michael is maxing his constipation level It's because I took a really long time during the break and they thought I was, constipated. That's not the case. So that is our Wise Old Man patrons. Thank you so much again for your support. Moving on over now to the KBD patrons. These folks will get a shout out each and every week. And this week is no different. Starting at the top, big thank you to Apathy, Boston Sport 5, Brooks 70, Chaos's TOA Services. Like the sound of that. Oxie's dad, my dad, all of our dad, Cloud Kicker, Damon S, Dicky Bird, Elite Oreo Dunker, Evil Chicken, and Soggy Waffle. All the same person. Oxie number 1 Simp 666. Our third favorite Patreon supporter, Ralph, Run Metal 15, Rylithian, a returning KBD patron, Seppi J, Sparky Life, Swole's Hot Italian Summer. I'm very jealous of your hot Italian summer. The Big G Jordy, the Crail Italimorn, and War Patroning. That is all of our KBD patrons. We thank you so much. You guys go above and beyond with your financial support of the show, and there are not enough muchos in the world to cover what you deserve for your monetary support of the show. So thank you so much to all of our KBD patrons. You also get access to the recording booth, and you'll have your name read aloud every single episode. If you would like to join these folks, you can do so by heading on over to patreon.com/xpwaste. We have a bunch of different tiers that you can join at. Some of them being as low as $1, going all the way up to $25. If you join at the $5 tier, which is our Party P tier, you'll have access to our backlog and any future extra episodes that we do each and every month. We do a stream that then you can then watch as an extra episode if you're not able to catch us live. We stream pretty much on the dot every third Friday of the month. It's in the evening, so if you are over in Europe, sometimes it might be super, super late. But depending on your time zone, you may get us like maybe early in the morning. You may catch the end of the stream early in the morning. But nonetheless, all of those streams will be available for you to watch later. You can just watch them back. And we do things that are not necessarily always related to RuneScape. A couple months ago, we did a Minecraft stream. So it always changes. It doesn't have to be related to RuneScape. But we enjoy doing that, and you can access that at the Party Beat tier. Like I said, patreon.com/xpwaste. And now, the return of the long-anticipated, much-loved, and probably not as dramatic as Oxie's making it out to be community question. We figured it out, folks. I think it's going to survive. Although we can't guarantee the comment section in Spotify will be a viable way to move forward. I think we have found an alternative that works for now. Spotify is continuing to put out new features such as the comment section rather than the Q&A section. And I just checked on my phone the other day and I have access to the comments now. So it may be a viable way for us to continue doing it moving forward. But for now, it just it doesn't have the same feel. Like, leave a comment on the episode with blah, blah, blah. So we're going to do it now, reading off responses from the Discord. I opened a thread under the announcements channel, and I just asked you guys what was your favorite potion? Very simply, and right now we have 30 responses there. But we're not going to start in Discord. We're going to start over on Spotify, where we have two responses in the comments. Zach says, boys, I want to hear your thoughts on all of the different god brews. We gave your thoughts on 2 of them, 3 of them if you count Gothics. I didn't know there was an Armadillo potion.
There's not. He's talking about the ancient brew, I'm pretty sure.
Oh. Well, okay. Ancient brew, 6 out of 10. I don't know. I haven't used it. I mean, what it does, I couldn't tell you. So I don't think Oxie wants to comment either. So we're just going to move on. Starsky says, what potions do you think taste the best of the OSR's potions? Maybe just based on color, ingredients, stat boost? Taste the best? Probably frick, the energy potion, Harlander and chocolate. You can't go wrong with that. And it gives you a
Chocolate
little
leaves
energy.
could be gross though.
I don't know. If you had like a matcha, you put a little
Defense
chocolate powder in
potions
there.
could actually taste pretty good. Raynor weed and white berries, those could taste pretty
Yeah.
decent.
I wonder what a Raynor tastes like, because you could do, what is it, Cadentine? Or I
Yeah,
guess, like,
super defense
maybe
potion could also
super
taste pretty good.
white berries.
Ranging
curious what a-
potion, like a nice spiced wine. Ranging potion could taste pretty
Ooh.
good.
I'm curious what a potato cactus tastes like, because if it's anything like potatoes, it may not be good as a drink. But if you pair it with like a nice leafy thing, it could turn into more of like a soup mixture, like a potato soup. I don't know. There's a lot. There's a lot that I'm like, no, just leave it out of here. Like eyes of newt. I don't want crushed up little eyeballs in my potion. In spider eggs. I could do without those too. That's gonna do it for the Spotify replies on the comments. We asked you the same question over on YouTube. What is your favorite potion? Evan says, going to have to go a little off the rails with the answer, but Wine of Zamrock, purely for the nostalgia of watching people burn themselves in it back in the day. Hey, listen, it is a transition between potion and food, so Wine of Zamrock is probably fine. Can you drink a Wine of Zamrock straight out of the bottle? I don't think so. I've not heard of anybody actually sipping from a Wine of Zamrock rather than using it as a secondary. I don't think you can. Jordan says, I would have to go with the classic stamina and agility potions. I don't think I've ever used a brew in my life. As I progress my account towards the mid/end game, I look forward to using highly ranked potions from this episode more regularly. I'll store that info for later. Jordan, I think you'll find yourself using brews sooner than you thought. Raids. Literally raids. There are some instances where I think having an emergency brew is nice. If you're going to be in the wilderness for any reason, I take an emergency brew, not used very often, but I do take an emergency brew to Zulrah, just because Zulrah can hit you unexpectedly hard. And if you've used all your food and you don't want to teleport out, you have that extra whatever, like 80 HP that you get from a brew. So it's nice to have there. And there are some instances where, like Zalcano, if you're not afraid of using money, you do make money at Zalcano. In instances where you don't need to attack something, but you need health back, Zalcano, Volcanic Mine, that you'll use brews in more places than you think. Next up, Otto God Blessed says, I think you boys may have missed a few potions on your little list. Cracks Knuckles. You trying to say something about your old friend Otto's potions? I've never used like a barbarian mix in my life. I wish that they were more viable, and I say that with all sincerity. Like, I wish that it was a better experience to make and use like the barbarian mixes. But I think the fact that they're only 2 dose in most cases, if not all the cases, if I recall correctly, 2 doses is just not enough for me to get out of bed. Like if you were to show me an inventory that only had like 2 dose potions, I'd be like, hey, why don't you go and decant those? Like that's a waste of inventory space. Get it up to 4, call it a day. So they could be reworked to give you a bit more. And maybe I would use them. That's going to do it for our YouTube replies. Now, this will be the bulk of what we have to talk through. So, community question. We asked you guys the same question. What's your favorite potion? This is from the thread in Discord. A guy named Spari says, Menifite Remedy. It's not good or all that useful. I just think it's neat. Shu says, it's just called potion. It's what the apothecary gives you if you ask for a free sample. And it's a spot cream used to treat people and soften them. I have heard of this potion. It was on like a top 10 random facts videos, I think, from Moteplocks. Good times, good times. Fizzman says, Cadava potion from the Romeo and Juliet quest. since its name is hilarious and it helps you get 5 quest points. Need all them to keep pushing for new tiers of Gothic's PBs. I'm really bad about tiers of Gothic's, and this is a call out that I should do it more often. It's free XP, and right now it would go to rune crafting. So do better, Michael. Recycle Please says Zamorak Brew because I don't think there is a more unused potion in the game. Recycle Please, aka Chris, he's in it for the underdog. So Zamorak Brew could use some love, and I have to disagree. Just because it's unused doesn't make it good. Chaos Cleric says the Goblin Potion. Who doesn't want to finally wear a Goblin mail? Frick, I forgot about that one. I should do the Goblin quest on my iron. It's been a while. Next up, Jamungo says, shout out to Sarah Delman Brew for keeping me from planking when I was learning raids. I still planked a lot. Yeah. Steel Beam says, personally, I'm a big fan of Serum 207. It's made once and then it's completely forgotten about. I don't think Steel Beam knows that Serum 207 is probably the best use for any Terramins that you have in the early Herblore grind. Fun fact about ashes, by the way. If you're an Iron Man, you can in fact pick up ashes off the ground from any player who made a fire. Because it's not technically an item that is dropped by a player. It's just an item that is spawned on the ground from something that a player made. So if you're an Iron Man, don't think that you have to like make all the fires yourself to collect all the ashes for all of the Terramins that you have. Just go to a world where somebody is line fire, doing line fires, and pick up the ashes yourself. Moving on, Biscuit Frisker says, are fishing explosives considered a potion? And I think for this question, yes. Fishing explosives are a potion. Not to be drank, but to be thrown. And they're very useful. Mr. Curtin says, Forgotten Brew, amazing to boost for teleports in your house. I would have to agree. I wish they were easier to get as an iron because on my account, there was a couple of occasions where it was like, do I really have to get all those levels to like boost for? I think it was the Barrows teleport was the one that I was wanting, and I was scared if I had started going for the Zenites too early that I would need to boost in some capacity to enchant them. But I had already gotten the level by the time I got my Zenite. So if you're a main and you don't have the money for a heart, for an imbued heart, and you need magic boosts, get a Forgotten Brew. Ogiehi says, I already answered this on YouTube. The name is pronounced with a short O and a hard G. Did you answer it on YouTube?
OGAE.
OGAE.
OGAE. So, it's OGAE.
They said they answered it on YouTube, but I do not see.
Answer the question about how to pronounce their name from Achievement of the Week.
Oh.
OGAE. OGAE. OGAE.
OGAE. OGAE.
Mi dispiace, Mico.
Short O and hard G. Thank you, OGAE. Deft Dan says, only the strongest potions as I'm going into battle. Prof Slayer says, gotta go with the rich man's pot, which is the Sandfew. Got another Sandfew enjoyer there, Oxie. Swole says, something in Italian. Oh, gosh.
Chianti Classico e Limoncello.
Limoncello.
Chianti is a type of wine. Chianti is a type of wine, and limoncello is a lemon liquor thing.
I had limoncello in my office, I think, when we did our super combat. I think we had to buy limoncello. Maybe. Limoncello. Seth Strudel says, stamina potions, because without them, I'm not sure if I would ever have gotten a quest cape, and walking is the worst part. Agreed. Next up, Vinifier says, good old prayer potions to BH. Zendiri RS says, the free sample potion from the Varrock Apothecary. Love how if you try and give it to the people in Sophanum prior to Beneath Cursed Sands, they all have comical dialogue about why they won't try the spot cream or what effect it has on their condition. Also, looking at the wiki, it's listed as a reward chest pull for the normal gauntlet.
It's a failure roll.
Oh, is it?
It's the
normal
potion of
potion?
shame. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh man. When I read that prior to just now, I thought that it could have been like a glitch because like the drop table on the wiki is in some capacity like player data gathered from like player data. I didn't know if that was a glitch, but I guess you just confirmed it's just a troll drop.
Yep, you get it when you die sometimes.
Damn. Next up, Real Crazy says, super energy potions. I often bring those instead of staminas while doing quests. Staminas are good if you just plan on spacebarring through the dialogue. But if not, the time reading while having Graceful on usually restores enough energy without having the wasted stamina effect. That's a pro tip that I will keep in the back of my mind. Mock Cat says, potions to use. Prayer, super attack, super combat, antidote plus. Potions to craft are attack, super attack, prayer, regular combat, super restores agility, super strength, and super energy. These secondaries are easy to note, get as noted, or easy to get. Each inventory of potion for crafting, i.e. frog's legs and fungus. Rummy Tumble says, ranging potions. Love seeing my bows go burr, and it looks like it tastes like blue Powerade. That's very true. Melvin Mann, aka air quotes, says, nothing beats a good old-fashioned prayer potion. Bear RNG, or Bearing, says, the Bastion potion looks like it tastes like the fakest sweet orange drink imaginable, and I just know it would hit. It's like Sunny D. Like, we know no part of Sunny D is like should be considered orange juice, but we all just kind of accept that it's orange juice. It's not. Thogart says, does beer count as a pot? If so, beer. And to that I say yes, it does count.
Good answer. Good answer.
Jugger says, forgotten brew, because there is way too much stuff to buy before the hearth. Which I think he meant the heart. That's true. Like I said, if you don't have money for an imbued heart, or you don't have a friend that can lend it to you, just go buy a forgotten brew. And don't forget about them. Next up, Ketone says, definitely got a soft spot for overloads. For my days as an R3 main, and the fact that you could combine them with nearly any potion to save inventory space. I kind of like that they haven't gone with the overload route in OSRs, because I think that it leaves a lot of room for different metas. But I do think it would be really cool if we had overloads outside of raids. The fact that they give them to us within raids is kind of cool, though. Next up, Lurks says, forgotten brew, another one. Because they are the poor man's imbued heart, good magic boost, and they give added boost to prayer points, easily an S tier potion with the 2 added effects. Very nice. Boston Sport says, super attack potion has a lot of nostalgia for me, but I must say that Oxie had some S tier chirps for Michael. Afraid to spell PVM and okay Tutorial Island. Both of those had me laughing in dead stop Chicago traffic. I'm very surprised I didn't get any Tutorial Island remarks this episode, and I'm kind of sad about it because, like I said last week, if somebody gives me a nickname, it's kind of sentimental. But Tutorial Island, probably not the best nickname. Next up, the Taco Daddy, aka DJ, aka Butter 6000, says, is the unidentified liquid from the dig site quest a potion? It's always funny seeing clips of unaware players almost dying when it explodes if they drop it. What? I think it's one of those quests that I just like spacebarred through and was following a quest guide for, so I never even had the opportunity, but holy cow.
Rich.
We got a couple more. Shady says, favorite potion you say? Well, let's just say that dwarf weed potion unfinished hits different on that magic log fire. Very nice. Is that a thing? Can you pour a dwarf weed potion on a magic log fire? Do something special? I think I know what he's referencing, but I'm very curious. Very curious in game. And finally, on this week's community question, Iron Robin says the Shrink Me Quick potion, when used in Barbarian Assault, it causes a unique animation, and if done by the player with the recruitment scroll, it will create a stall which allows multiple players to shoot an egg from the cannon at the same time without having multiple eggs. What a thing to know. What a thing to know. That's going to do it for the community question, folks. Thank you so much to everyone who answered last week's question. We got a lot of responses, and that is encouraging, and I think it just goes to prove that you guys do enjoy and appreciate the community question enough for us to find a way to continue to do it. So if there was one thing that I know, it's that we can't just drop it. And I don't think we're going to drop it. We're going to keep doing it. So if you would like to answer this week's question, it's going to be similar and it's going to be sweet and it's going to be simple. What's your favorite food? What's your favorite Osrs food? And if you want to throw a curveball and just give us like a 5-course meal that you really like from like real life, I will happily read it and probably get very hungry. So drop it in the comment section on YouTube or Spotify, or you can go on over to Discord and answer it in the thread under the Xpwaste announcements. That's going to do it for community question. Sending it on over to Oxie for achievement of the week.
What?
Wake up, Oxie.
It is achievement of the week time, folks. We're going to kick it off with the skilling category, our biggest category this week. We are a day short normally because we're recording on a Saturday night. Normally we record Sunday morning. As far as I've seen, nothing wild and crazy has come in since. So if you do something on Sunday and it didn't get shouted out, we'll get you next week. Anyways, kicking us off, Harry's has completed 99 farming. I don't know why I called him that. I was calling Riley at this point. I'm sleepy. I'm sorry, guys. Riley got 99 farming. Donut 308. I think you got 99 crafting. Donut posted a picture with himself in bronze G and a trimmed crafting cape and a bucket helmet with no context in levels and achievements. And there's no in-game anything to signify. It's just like the clan guest chat of like other people doing shit. So maybe you got 99 crafting, Donut. That's what I'm shouting you out for. Dinosaur achieved 99 wood cutting. Voltoro achieved 99 strength. Air Mid also achieved 99 strength. Big Thickums achieved 99 fletching. Pork Jerry achieved 99 attack. For Vitney, who probably needs to be institutionalized, completed 99 rune crafting and then 99 fire making. Seriously, check on your friends, and your friends being for Vitney. I mean, Vitney, man needs some help. Wheat Toast 03 achieved 99 attack. Skill Action achieved 99 Slayer. Raymer 99. I almost didn't shout this one out, Raymer. I'll shout it out for 99 mining. Why in the world is your chat box on the right side of your screen? I want to know. I want to know why the chat box, instead of being on the left side of the client like a normal player, it's on the right side, right next to the inventory, like a psychopath.
Maybe he's left-handed.
But his inventory is also on the right side of the mouse.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Like, I'm pretty sure Raymer is from Australia, but it's not even upside down. It's just fully moved over, playing on what looks like full screen. I need some answers, brother. I really do. Anyways, like I said, check on your friends, and your friends are Raymer this week. Gowerly achieved 99 prayer. Dave Decation achieved 99 attack, strength, and defense. I think that's it, because you got 126 combat, so I think that's everything. But unless you got another one that wasn't in that screenshot, attack, strength, and defense for you. Trillin, a name I don't think I've seen in a long time, achieved 99 strength. Wallisg, Wallisg achieved 99 Slayer. And then KC Hesh or K Shesh. Normally I don't have this much of a problem but it's spelled Kchessh. And I have not the foggiest clue how to pronounce that one. So Kchessh 2533. You achieved 99 fire making this week, which was awesome. Additionally, I smashed dads and my boy Jack and Clubs, Mr. Combobulation, Mr. Jack's GIM. They both got not 99. They both got 2K total level this week. So once again, Jack, very proud of you. I'm proud of you too. I smashed dads. A little annoyed that Jack keeps raising his draft stock. But I'm proud of you for raising your draft stock. I smashed dads. In any case, Jack is a terrible bingo teammate who never logs in, and he's also an Iron Man, a green helmet that. So you shouldn't pick him for your bingo team because he's a terrible teammate to have. And yeah, I definitely mean that very sincerely. Anyways, don't pick Jack for your bingo team. Moving on. In the combat achievements category this week, we have a lot of new fire capes this week. So we have the Big Dog Larry on his Iron Man, and we also have You Killed Pat got their first fire capes this week. And then we had not one, but two instances of first fire capes with 1KC pets. We had Walt Kidney and Hunchy on his GIM both get 1KC Jad pets this week. Welcome to the 1KC Pet Gang. As two esteemed members of the 1KC Pet Gang, it is our privilege to welcome you among the few and the proud of the 1KC Pet Gang. Moving on, Luna Tuna killed Zulra for the first time. I think I was online for that last night doing D&D. Always love seeing Zulra scales in the chat. Eisenberg completed the Elite Combat Achievements. Welcome to the Jad Helm Gang. Lil Newt got their quiver this week, and I want to say Steins Gate got Blorva. He talked about without the Webweaver bow, he died like 27 times at Awaken Leviathan, and then with the Webweaver bow, he got Awaken Leviathan done after like 2 attempts. So I think you got Blorva. You didn't post about like the Ancient Blood kit. You just posted a KC at all of them. So I'm hoping that's relevant. Like, I hope I didn't just shout it out because like this guy's a gamer. I'm pretty sure Steins Gate he's like a regular topper. You know, I don't think he's in TNL. At least I don't think. But I know he's a gamer and he hangs out and does content with the boys pretty frequently. So I hope it's Blorva and it's not an old achievement and you were talking about something else and I wasn't paying attention. Either way, you got Blorva. So congratulations to you. It's a pretty kick-ass cosmetic. Then finally, in the miscellaneous category this week, Wispy Embers and Tehan Riker both got their quest capes this week. Hell yeah, brothers. Quest caping it up. And then Santher 5150 with an off-the-wall achievement that I just like shouting out because I think it's neat. Claimed their 20-year cape in RS3. So, hell yeah. That is going to do it for Achievement of the Week this week, folks. If you did something awesome and you want to show us, head over to our Discord, discord.gg/OSRSTNL, and post about your kick-ass achievement. Whether it's a 99, or a fire cape, or a quiver, or a quest cape, or base 70s, or more evidence as to why no other captain should choose Jack for bingo, whatever it is, right? He also only ever gets arcane prayer scrolls in chambers. That one is probably too personal. I'm sorry, Jack. That one cuts deep. You didn't deserve that. Post about it in our Discord. We'd love seeing all the achievements. Even now, I know it's Saturday night, so it's a little bit of a skewed thing. Like everyone's awake on a Saturday night. We're not like teenagers in this Discord. Like we're grown ass men. Like we get tired at like 10 o'clock. But we still have people hanging out and doing content together. I'm pretty sure they're all down there raiding. The night shift, as it were, are in full swing this evening. They got raids, they got solo content. It's a good time. TNL is objectively the best RuneScape Discord in the world. And at the time of recording, we're mumpties and forgot to announce the clan thing. So hopefully by the time this episode comes out, that restructure has been announced and the new time-based ranks make sense. And If you're interested, you have applied for the advanced ranks. And hopefully you guys are happy with the new ranks and all that. Because I'll tell you this, for the rank ups, when I say, I think it was somebody, I think it was Chaos Cleric, added me in the Xpwaste chat. I was like, dude, Oxie, they finally listened to you about the clan thing. And the first thing I read was we added 10 new clan rank slots. I felt like Ron Swanson throwing the PC in the trash can. Like, I DM'd in our mod chat and I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. We spent hours trying to organize these capes, capes and times and relevancies and all of this shit of like, let's make it work, because this system, like, we don't want to have to change it down the road. It's going to be good. And then literally 48 hours before we initially planned to drop it, they're like, hey, we're just going to add a bunch of shit. So I got to level with you. We haven't announced it yet. I'm 99% certain. Well, we haven't announced at the time of recording. I'm 99% certain we're not going to utilize those ranks right now, because it's like we bought a house and when we moved in, there's suddenly a garage. It's like,
that's a good analogy.
Like,
it's a great analogy.
I guess I'll use this in the future, but I only have enough stuff to fill the house. So, yeah. But yeah, I hope you guys like the clan thing. And if it's not out, just like DM TMD and ask him why it's not out. But it should be out, because honestly, I was so busy on Friday, dude. I know Michael and I haven't talked. I was so busy on Friday. I built a table, like rebuilt a table. My kitchen table I bought, my tiny little kitchen table from like a resale shop. It's like an estate sale, resale shop thing. Beautiful wooden table, all handcrafted wood. And except for the part that connects the base to the table, I swear to God, it was made out of cardboard. So I put a little bit of body weight on it to like cut a sleeve off of a shirt that I got, and the whole table like snapped. I was like, world? Because the thing that attached the base to the tabletop had like basically snapped in half and was holding on for dear life. The tabletop, perfectly solid. Base, perfectly solid. So I had to go to Home Depot and like get wood and like replace that. And then I was also like working on Friday. So like Friday was insanely busy. And literally I was probably 4 hours into D&D when I was like, holy shit, we never announced the thing. Like, oh, it was such a busy day on Friday. But hopefully that's announced by now. And you guys have your ranks in the TNL clan. And hopefully you're hanging out in the TNL Discord and having a grand old time. To quote a once great podcast host, a still great podcast host, I'm fading fast. And I think it's time for a fun question. So Michael, my friend, while you orient your camera, Michael is posting pictures in the recording booth chat of just the most heinous layouts of his Runelight client.
If you're on Runelight,
you should be banned for it.
You can press and hold Alt. You move everything anywhere you want it. So we've gone with a left angle. We've gone with an upside down angle. It's good stuff.
It's horrible. Anyways, Michael, my friend, do you have a fun question for us this week?
I do. And fun is going to be determined by you, Oxie, I think. Moist Sean says, "Hey man, hope you're doing well. This is a DM. Wanted to submit a non-OSRS related fun question. There's been a debate in the TNL chat recently. What is your take on putting ranch on rice?" So
I have seen this debate in the CC. I have seen this debate in the CC. D4 Drake one tick responded with "fuck no," and I feel like he's also been a part of the beef.
Today we weigh in today.
We weigh in after weeks of this debate.
After weeks of people debating,
listen,
today is the day. We weigh in. What is your take on ranch on rice? I can go first if you want me to, because I think
when I was a young
simple.
lad,
A
young lad, I had a very Italian grandmother, and she would make us try some weird shit, and I mean weird shit. Like, y'all ever drank the water that you steam the broccoli in? Y'all ever had room temperature broccoli water? Y'all ever been super excited for candy on a holiday and she breaks out dried dates as a child? You ever, like, I don't know, had fucking sardines as a 9-year-old? Like, it's some weird shit with my grandma.
It's just culture, Oxy.
But her rule was you can't say you don't like it if you haven't tried.
It's a good rule.
And she was like steadfast in this rule. And
Stand by Grammy.
until the day, not quite the day she died, more so the day she kind of like lost it and couldn't really cook or remember anything anymore. She did not care. That woman, she got like a nose job in the 70s or 80s, I think, and completely lost her sense of taste. And when she was later in life. So she lost her sense of smell as soon as she got the nose job in the 80s. And then by like 2010, couldn't taste a thing.
No.
You know, it's a buff like you wouldn't believe.
No, because
It's
everything is texture. Nothing is about, like, people who have no sense of taste are miserable people because food
Let me
loses
tell you.
its enjoyment.
If this woman had a sound mind, she would outlive you and I combined. Because when you don't eat food for the taste and you eat it for the nutritional value, this woman was like, I gotta have oatmeal for breakfast. When I say oatmeal for breakfast, what does that mean to you? Some Quaker oats, maybe some milk, maybe some sugar, call it good.
Strawberries
at its base
and
level.
cream.
This woman would have oats, pumpkin, chia seeds, what are those garbanzo beans? She'd put fucking quinoa in there. She'd put pumpkin puree in there. She'd put all sorts of shit in there, and you would eat it, and it would be like an earthy, sloppy mess. Because what she didn't add sugar. She didn't need it to be sweet. She didn't care.
That's true.
Can't say you don't like it if you don't try it. Let me tell you, that oatmeal sucked. My sister loved it. My sister still to this day will make this like shoots and twigs oatmeal and shit. So I grew up with my grandma who did not care if it looked gross or sounded gross. There was really only one way to find out if it was gross, and that was to try it. The most infamous example being peanut butter and bacon. Give it a try. Next time you have breakfast
Savory
with
and
bacon,
sweet.
give it a try. Peanut butter, slather some peanut butter on bacon. Give it a try. Let me know how you feel. So I got to level with you guys. I have not tried ranch on rice. I've not tried it. I can't accurately weigh in. However, what I can weigh in on is in general creamy sauces on rice, right? When I do, Tex-Mex food or whatever at home, sometimes I like a good spicy, creamy sauce to kind of bring it all together. And I know this isn't entirely adjacent, but for all my Asian food fans out there, you ever had yum yum sauce? That shit fucks. And that's also a creamier sauce. Yum yum might be made with like eggs. I don't actually know, but it has a creamier consistency. And that mio dio on like stir fry, on fried rice, mio dio. It's so good. So for that reason, I think I have to support ranch on rice.
Hell yeah.
I've not had it exactly, but I think I have to support ranch on rice. So
Hell yeah. I have had ranch on rice. Not as like a direct topping, but one thing I like to do when I'm balling on a budget is I'll do chicken nuggets in the air fryer. And then in some grocery stores, they have these little cups of rice that you can just throw in the microwave for 1 minute.
yeah,
You have like the jasmine, the brown, all that kind of stuff. So it's like instant rice, but not really instant. But it's basically just like you're warming up your rice again. So I'll do that. So I'll do a cup of that rice, put it in a bowl. Then I'll stack my little chicken nuggets in a circle or whatever. And then I'll just drizzle some ranch on top. So like I've had ranch on rice adjacent because it's obviously it's a casualty of war, if you will. It's just there. And it's not bad. I wouldn't say that like I'm going out of my way to eat ranch with rice. And I think the problem people have is you're talking about creamy sauces that I totally agree with. Like I will put a creamy sauce on rice any day of the week. But I think the difference is when you have a creamy sauce, it's usually warm. I've never tried like warmed up ranch, but I think it might hit different than like, ranch straight from the fridge, like dipping like a hot fry, like dipping a hot fry or like a chicken nugget or some pizza into ranch. And I think it's where people are like having trouble because you think like ice cold ranch on top of your hot rice and it just makes your rice cold. Maybe.
No, it doesn't. It makes it room temperature.
Maybe. I don't know. I wouldn't like slather ranch like just on top of white rice for no reason. But I'm saying if they touch, I'm not throwing it away. Ranch, I think ranch, there's not really like a savory food that I don't think I would shy away from putting like dipping in ranch. Like you say, Michael, what about like a nice medium rare steak? Yes. Probably any food. So it's hard for me to go against ranch in this way because like you can't go wrong with ranch. It's God's condiment, really is. That or like barbecue sauce. I think if we did like a condiments tier list, those would be my S tiers.
You don't think ketchup would be God's condiment? You don't think salt would be God's condiment? Really?
Is salt it is a condiment, but like I'm thinking like sauces maybe, not condiments.
I still think it'd be I still think it'd be ketchup or mayonnaise. Everyone outside of the United States has no fucking clue what ranch is.
D4 Drake says, as a poor kid growing up in the South, we would have white rice with butter and sugar. Now that shit slaps. My rule is there is no food that can't be improved with either chocolate, cheese, or bacon. You talk about peanut butter earlier. If you're making ramen, specifically spicy ramen, while it's still boiling, put a spoonful of peanut butter in there. You'll be surprised. Spicy peanut butter ramen, that actually slaps. It is a staple in the colder months here in Texas for my wife and I. Like we'll be craving ramen. It's like, I don't know, we just stock up on ramen during the colder months. Cause like I don't want to eat soup in the summer. It's not a thing that I do normally. So like I'll go out and I'll get ramen or pho, but it's normally in the colder months. But I like that fun question. That to me was more than just like, So
I'm gonna go out with some fighting words. I was gonna keep it together. Because you asked the fun question about favorite food. I think I'll start a fight. Just because you said something that upset me about peanut butter and ramen, I'm gonna say something that's gonna upset you and probably every other person in this Discord. The more rare the steak is, the worse it is. Rare steak sucks.
I think there's a
the
line.
Perfect medium rare steak sucks.
Okay, hold on.
You're eating.
Hold on.
It's literally, it takes too long to fucking chew. People are like,
Hold on.
It's so buttery. No, it's fucking not. You're eating raw animal out there. Like
Hold
one
on.
of those Giga Chads on TikTok. And
Hold
you're
on.
out here trying to tell me that's the best it can get.
Hold on.
You're full of shit.
Hold on.
You're absolutely full of shit. Bro
okay.
chooses beef to beef jerky as steak. D4 Drake, you ever had a brisket, motherfucker? That ain't medium rare. That shit's cooked all the way through, baby.
Yeah.
I'll take the fighting words. I'll take the people who are going to call me whatever, because first of all, I don't have my steaks well done. I like medium. That's fine. Sometimes I'll order medium well because those pretentious fucking cooks at steakhouses will go, they don't know what they actually want and cook it a degree rarer than usual. The amount of times I've been places like Texas Roadhouse and my buddy's like, oh yeah, I'm getting medium rare steak. I'm like, I'm going to get like a medium well. They're like, are you fucking kidding me? You uncultured bitch. And I get the perfect steak, and they literally get like a top sear, and that's it. And they're like, oh, I'm like, you guys are fucking morons. Medium rare steak sucks.
Mm.
Every time I have it, I think, wow, this could use a minute in the microwave. Not a fan. I am not a fan. And I will fight every single one of you motherfuckers.
Oh, that looks good. I'm gonna pop that on screen actually.
See,
This
I'm not
right
gonna
here-
lie. I'm not gonna lie. That looks good.
That looks
I'm
so
not-
good.
That looks good. But I
Oh,
want you to
man.
look at that big long piece right there. I want you to look at that big
The
old
middle one?
fucking long piece right there. You're still chewing that long piece because we ain't meant to eat raw meat.
Mm.
We ain't meant to do it. Ain't meant to eat raw meat. You could show me all the pictures of the perfect medium rare steak, all you like. And the best thing I'm going to say is, yeah, zap it. You know? That ain't even medium rare, Michael. You full
Okay.
of shit.
I posted. You wouldn't even let me comment. Holy frick, dude! This is the steak that I made myself for New Year's Eve. And that's my tradition. I'm starting with myself every New Year's Eve. I'm going to make myself a nice steak, and I posted this as saying this was good, but I think I overcooked it a little too much. And I think the one that D4 Drake posted, that's not cooked enough.
The D4
So-
Drakes is raw.
Whatever is between mine and the one on, so mine is on the right, D4 Drake's is on the left. They look similar. So the one with broccoli and mine has the asparagus. So if you could find me a steak that's in between those, in between whatever that is and whatever this is, that's my perfect steak. I don't want it raw, but I don't want it fully cooked either. And I think you probably are onto something. If it's like dripping blood and it's cold, I think that's a little too far. Like you have to get, for me, my steak has to be warm throughout. I don't need it searing hot. Make the outside hot, but like if it's cold in the middle because it's still that raw, no thank you. There's people out there who like the cook time for each side is measured in seconds. And I think that's a little extreme. Now,
The only reason you do that is with tuna steaks.
tuna.
That's a different thing.
Hmm.
And even then, a tuna steak is like a minute on each side. You don't do more than that. I'll post you what the I made for New Year's Eve. I could have used another minute or so on each side for that one. This is
minute,
a brisket
yeah.
chat now. So you mean to tell me that well cooked, well done steak is bad when Riley just posted that bitch? I'd put those black latex gloves on and I would bite chunks out of that ass like a feral animal. Look at that fucking thing. I had a brisket sandwich for lunch today. I would go to war for a good brisket, right?
I found out, Oxie, one of the best barbecue places in Texas is like in my neck of the woods, apparently. And I need you to fly here sooner than later, and we are gonna go.
Sold.
It is Goldie's, yeah. I had no idea.
I'm
I'm
here
always
for
like
it.
Terry Black's or whatever. You have to go to Austin for good steak, but like the DFW area apparently has like the #1 place. I'm very excited.
We went to Nashville a couple months ago and we got barbecue down that way, and my mom ordered some brisket or something. It's like a brisket platter with sides, and she was like, "Ugh, I got all this like skin. The fuck are you talking about? Brisket of skin?" And she got like not quite burnt ends, like the meal burnt ends. She got like the physical, like burnt crust of this brisket as part of her meal. And I was like, "Are you gonna eat that?" And she's like, "No, this thing is gross." Feral animal chunk out of that ass. I was having a ball. with that part. Brisket,
yeah.
it's hard to make a. I suppose not. It could make a bad brisket if it's not dry enough. I'm looking at the steak again that I posted. It could use a minute on each side, maybe, and then I think it's perfect.
My
Right then
question
and
for
there.
you is: did you eat an entire wheel of cheese? Just like raw dogging that wheel of cheese.
Yeah, I did.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
You know, for a while, I was concerned in college that I was very aggressively lactose intolerant. Turns out I was what the kids are calling horribly anxious. And
Oh.
I was just untied. I remember the day I found out I was in a mental health first aid training seminar. And this was after months of having what I assumed were like stomach problems. I thought I had like stomach ulcers, stomach cancers. Like every night I would lie awake and I couldn't fall asleep. My stomach was just feeling like weird and queasy every night. And then someone's like, yeah, nausea is a symptom of anxiety. That was one of the biggest mental health kicks in the dick I think I've ever gotten in my entire life. And it completely altered the way I look at myself and particularly my diet. So while I don't think I could go toe to toe with a glass of 2%, I will with some cheese. D4 Drake, with all due respect, brother, I don't think that's right at all. He posted, it looks, don't get me wrong, he's done a good job with it. I don't think, look at the pieces in the middle.
That's spectacular.
That bitch is still moving.
I would devour it.
I will fight you all to the death.
Looks so juicy. Listen, Oxie, all you got to do is put a little bit of barbecue sauce. Now, listen, stop. Don't comment anything. Stop writing it. You can eat barbecue sauce with steak. Okay? Stop. Put a little barbecue sauce on there. You're not even going to see the pink. And it's going to be fine. It's going to be
Drake,
fine.
I'm not saying you got to f***ing jerky that bitch, as you so eloquently put earlier. That right there, like, honestly, you could take that steak, cut as it is, put it on the flat top for maybe 30 seconds aside, and just call it good from there. I'm not opposed to pink.
He just needs
steak.
a little less pink.
I just need it
very
less.
close.
This idea that medium rare supremacy is the way to go. The idea that medium rare supremacy is correct, I think, is a fallacy. And I think this idea that medium rare is the only way to do it has not only affected the culinary industry, but it's affected our masculinity. All right. I'm going to ask D4 Drake to shut the fuck up in the recording booth chat before we get demonetized.
Comments. I'm putting a little screenshot of his comment on the screen.
and then it affects our culinary taste. It affects our image of masculinity. Okay. Get out there, eat a brisket, eat a medium steak, put some barbecue sauce on that bitch, right? Really, really just savor it. You know, you don't have to like raw steak. You don't have to. You really don't. You can cook it for a minute longer, right? That's all I'm saying. And I'm fully ready that I get Thursday. I'm gonna wake up Thursday morning to some motherfuckers who listen to this episode the minute the podcast comes out. I'm gonna wake up to 12 Discord notifications before I go to work. And I'm gonna go, yep, they listened to the whole
Wait,
episode.
hold on. Do the Oi Brevs know how to make a good steak though? I don't think so. I don't know.
Don't pick a fight with Europe, Michael. Don't do that. It's a losing battle. You have Italy, France, and Germany, not England, but everyone else.
Okay, well, I'm thinking of the English.
I was gonna say you're
not everybody else.
You're picking the fight with the wrong people.
As long as your country name doesn't have great in it, you'll be fine.
You know what? D4 Drake says garlic butter is better than any sauce. You know what? That's fine. I'll take that. Good garlic butter on steak with some nice saute. You could baste it with a little bit of garlic butter. You get some caramelized onions on there, some nice seared mushrooms on top of that too. Garlic butter on top of a steak. That's fair. I would say that's fine. As long as it's done medium.
We definitely need.
We got to get out of here, dude. Or we're gonna be here forever.
All right. Well, that's gonna do it for the episode, guys. Thank you for listening to the Xpwaste Steak Podcast. If you're still here, it's a miracle, and we thank you so much. for listening to the
I
end.
can hear the keys. I can hear the phone taps and the responses. Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
You said this. You said this was a pretty. It was a tier list without fighting, and this time I just decided to fight the audience at the end.
Hey, listen, we may hear some of this in the community question of what's your favorite food. You may be in for it. So we'll find out next week. But that's going to do it for this week's episode. Thank you so much for listening, for tuning in, for supporting the show. We appreciate the hell out of you guys. If you want to support the show in other ways, you can check the description. We have a link to all of the things you could possibly want. Our merch store, our Twitch channels. You can find all of that. If you want to send us a postcard and ask us a fun question, you can do so by sending us a postcard to our P.O. box, which I check on a weekly basis. So it's not been mentioned in a while, but we do have a P.O. box. The address is in the description if you want to send us anything, really. But if it's a postcard, we'll show it and we'll put it on the board in the back. Like I said, thank you so much for listening to the show. We will see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Hi, everyone.